Friday the South and Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepa, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah! Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? This one you back today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
This one you back today. Spoon
TV. Spoon.
Bada 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 bada. Skiddy biddy da bado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kuwa. Bese kuwa kudileo. Kuwa kudileo.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South and Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Yes, what you got today? Beseku, beseku. Bada 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 bada. Skibidi bidi da bado.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, James on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update?
And then you have the Spoon Radio, the Spoon TV, Tune to Spoon. A pleasant way to welcome you tonight. So another edition of the program. This is Liberia's most anticipated weekend program. The show that gets the rest of the week started, sets the agenda for the entire week. This space is where the headlines get to be crafted from every single at the very start of the week. The talking points derive from here, and of course we set the agenda while others followed. I'd like to say welcome, thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Another edition of One-on-One with the CEO is back on your radio. We're live on Spoon FM 107.5, we're on Fabric Radio 101.1, and other radio stations across the country, thanks to our partner radio stations that will always relay the program. Thanks to Trust FM in Bomi County, Premier FM in Bon County, Trend Radio in Grand Crew. Many thanks to Gibi FM in Kakata, Margibi County. Radio Yalaman in Seklepi, Nimba County is one of those radio stations that's always relaying the show as well. And the host of other radio stations across the country, that will sometimes relay the show even without telling us. We appreciate all of you for being part of this joining to making sure that Liberians across the length and breadth of this country are informed every day, that they can get the updates, they can get the happenings, they can get to hear from the policymakers, they can get to know what their government is doing, what Liberians across the country are confronted with. So I'd like to welcome everyone tonight to the program. My name is Nelson Colette. This edition of 101 is heavily loaded. As you know, most people thought that, yes, weekends or the very start of the week, since our week start from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, most people thought that the start of the week is that time where you should just, cool off and all of that. No, but this show serves as an eye opener, more like a touch for you as you get to start the brand new week every single day. So welcome to it. If you're joining us online tonight, please share the program. Share the show across. Share the show across your social media handles. Most of you saw the flyer tonight. It's gonna be a great show. It's gonna be very interesting tonight, and so share the show. Tell someone to tell another someone that 101 is on tonight. The former Maryland County Senator, Ambassador John Balut, will be the guest tonight, as you saw on the flyers, on the flyer that was shared online. And you can rest assured that you're going to get nothing less than the best tonight. There's a whole lot happening across the country, and you're going to get all of the updates, the analysis, plus so much more here tonight on this edition of the program. And I know at this time, there are so many questions running through your minds. A lot of people may be asking, the ambassador is coming on tonight. He was very key. He was very vocal in the 2023 election. The sequence of happenings, the different activities leading to the 2023 election, from the CPP thing, the back and forth, the disagreements amongst those political parties who found themselves within the CDC, when it was at a crucial point where the different parties were left with a decision as to whether there should be a split of the CPP, or the CPP should remain as that force, strong force to unseat the previous administration. He was one person who was trying to play that role, that middleman, to serve as a middleman, to bring the different parties together. He was a strong voice at the time. He's been a strong voice. He's going sabbatical for a while. He's going to be here tonight. What are your expectations? What do you think the senator, the former senator, the ambassador, is going to talk about tonight, with the different happenings across the country? Whether you want to go up Capitol Hill to talk about what's happening with respect to for the three lawmakers, or just whatever. What are your thoughts? What do you think the lawmaker is going to talk? The former lawmaker is going to talk about tonight. What's your expectation for this edition of 101 with the CEO on this 17th day of November? What are your expectations? It's going to be a great show tonight. So let me open the phone lines. Let me start by hearing from you guys. I see the CEO is already set up. He's coming on. The guests will be setting up shortly. Once the boom breaker comes on with the 10-pound hammer and start to break the booms and everything, then I'm going to reduce my height and give controls over to him as he takes on the guest tonight. The co-host is Abdullah Katama. He's going to be coming on tonight as well, hopefully. And the rest of the folks, as you know, they usually do that. There's a post analysis that comes on after the guest. But let's hear from you tonight. Let's hear what your expectations are. Call us tonight on 0555 101075. 0555 101075 is the number. Somebody said I should announce the WhatsApp. Okay, let me see if I can find the WhatsApp number that I can pull up here. But let's take our first caller. Hello? Your name and where you call from?
I'm calling from Ghanansville.
Okay, from Ghanansville. You say your name is James Laman?
Yeah, Ghana. What I want to talk about today is, I think about the suspension of the president.
His suspension of the president?
You have people that he suspended for like, he only suspended for 2 months, 3 months, time indefinite or indefinite. Because he gave you indefinite, or he gave you definite, he gave you indefinite. That is the only thought.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your input. 0555 Hello. Let's hear your name and where you calling from. Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
Yes, I'm from Wabena, calling from Kakata City.
I'm sure. Let's hear you. What's on your mind tonight? What's your expectation for this edition of the program?
Well, my expectation for this edition is that after your guest has spoken, I'm expecting for the president to appointing to one of those higher positions, because I saw him, I saw with my eyes, I heard on the at least fighting for this government to come to power. So my expectation is that he should be given he will be given a position to serve in it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So his expectation is after the guest shall have spoken, the president will give him some position. Hello, your name and where you come from? From the WhatsApp line. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Abdurrahim. I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay, Abdurrahim, let's hear you.
Yeah, my expectation is that the CEO will be on the show and tell the Liberian people the truth as always.
Okay. Okay.
To hear people saying that a whistleblower should be sacked, and then people can still be comparing the George Weah government with this government. That's why we took George Weah in power, because we want good for our country. So people shouldn't be sacked or fired because they said the truth for Mama Liberia. You understand? And then I was listening to Spoon last night. I never had opportunity to call because of the time here. And I want you guys to continue to tell the Liberian people the truth, and God bless you people. Let's continue to give the message fearlessly, and God going to continue to bless you guys. Liberia is all we have. Politicians are hypocrites. They're never going to change, my brother. We just got to pray that God give Liberia a good leader who's going to take care of the country.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your input tonight. Let's see if we can take another person here. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you.
Yes, to you.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Well, my name is Mohammed M. Kanenchion, and I speak to you tonight from cases 16.
Let's hear you quickly. Go ahead.
Thank you. And let me say thanks to Senator Balu, former Senator of Maryland County, from the Unity Party angle, who coming to set the platform to speak very, very lengthily tonight. I believe in Harley. But that's into the point. You know, I would like for the CEO to, in fact, the disaster management director on the platform. Yes, you know, this whole week, my topic will be directly on the head of the disaster management and boss, Asu Dolly. You know, the director Dolly, I think, the last time he hold or make up press and the Minister of Information that, you know, the strong patent, it was to give 4 months to even the strong patent.
The floor victims?
Yeah, the floor patent.
Okay.
Okay. And then since the 4 months, people only receive 2 months. And then where the balance 2 months were?
Okay.
Because this was the correction practice that even came from the Yoruba. All of the hair of the entity were fired by the president. So one for the president to intervene into the case very seriously.
Thank you very much for your input. Let's take another person here. Hello, from the WhatsApp line. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Benedict Lepma, J. Arrow, calling from Dallas, Texas, USA.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to make little comments on our old man, Joseph Nyiman Bwaka, for what he did yesterday by Jeremy Pierre, the mistake they make, and the man went on Spoon Talk. Every blessing they are one Spoon Talk from America here. It don't pass by me because y'all can always educate us. So for the woman to sack that man, because I call it complete sack, it made me to feel disappointed in Omen Braka until they call me my whole house yesterday. Totally. So according to Omen Braka, let him reconsider a decision by bringing that man back to job.
Okay.
This is the point we voted for. I'm Benedict Lagba J. Arrow, calling from Dallas, Texas, USA.
Benedict, thanks a lot for your concern. You want the president to reconsider his decision with Assistant Minister for Information Services, Matthew Yemplu. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Noble Fumbler, and I'm calling from New Hope, Minnesota.
Let's hear you, sir.
So I just wanted to comment. I just want to comment on the resignation of the Assistant Information Minister who went on Spoon and spoke against the necotech issue. There is something called code of conduct. Even if there's merits to what he was saying, there is a method, there is a procedure for doing that. You don't just go as being part of the administration. You don't just go on public airways and just say things and say things without control and things like that. You need to go through the protocol. So it's not the merits of what he said. It's the code of conduct that is totally unacceptable. I work here at the Minnesota House of Representatives, and leaders don't just get up and say things, even if there's merits.
Thank you.
I just want Liberian people to understand that even if the guy got dismissed, but I saw a resignation, not a dismissal. First, it was a suspension. Then I saw a resignation. They had every right to let him go.
Thank you.
Because he breached the code of conduct.
Thanks a lot for your input tonight. Let's hold you there and take another person. You can keep your calls coming to 0555-101075. Those of you on WhatsApp, the WhatsApp number is on there. You can call, making your input from there as well. Hello, your name and where you call from?
Hey, Nelson, how are you?
Yes, sir. We're doing good. Let's hear you.
So I'm Jerry Tabolo, and I call from Sierra Leone.
Okay. Let's hear your take.
Yes. I also want to buttress the last speaker, the guys who just left the line, to say that I think why Yamplo might want to be patriotic, there are serious issues as it relates to the approach he took. And like the gentleman rightly stated, you need to exhaust all of the internal communication mechanism. You understand? Before you get up to say you're taking on to social media. It is very important to understand this is discussed. We are not running government.
Hello.
Consideration, and I just want to say that we have to be very mindful with the way in which we put out public information, especially those guys at the Ministry of Information. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. Let's hold you there and take another person. Hello, from the WhatsApp line, your name and where you calling from? Hello.
Oh, this is Chimseta. Hello. I'm Chimseta Goodintoba calling from Connecticut.
Okay.
I'm just calling. I've been following this show, and on the 14th was my first anniversary with Spoon.
Oh.
And I'm just very grateful for the show. So I'm just calling to say a big thank you. This is my first time I put my voice on here, but I'm usually in the comment section on YouTube. So I just want to be so grateful and want to thank you guys for all you are doing and for the visionary. And I just pray that God will continue to help me in this program and to our people. That God will use. God is using this medium to really bring a lot of opening and lightning to us. For some of us who know our country, Liberia, prior to the war and now. So I just want to say thank you, and I'm calling to just say a big thank you for what you guys are doing. May God bless this program.
Thanks a lot for your input. Thanks for always contributing the comment section as well, and for following the Spoon Network. We appreciate you for that. Thanks a whole lot. Yes, so we'll take a few more calls. I see as we await the CEO and the guest. Once we get in. Yeah, hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Thank you. This is the voice of Andrew S. Jr., resident of Cowell, New Jersey, member of the JNP and KKK Youth Alliance.
Okay, go ahead quickly. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. You see, what is on my mind after this evening is that I want to commend President for taking decisive action on the official government that things that come to pass in all color to loot the Liberian people. Now forget that the rest of Kenya must be delivered to the Liberian people. And to be clear from our president, and we are clear about that. And let me commend Mo Ali for the work he did at the sub branch of the water and sewer red to Douala Tower Junction. That is a very massive where I must commend Mo. I tell him actually, the place is clean. There are Mo Ali skin. The brother know how to work. So we must commend him and to continue to do more.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your input, sir. Man, say the place clean. There are Mo Ali skin. CEO, welcome. It's good to have you on. The Liberian people have been waiting for you, but I see you're on a call, so I think we can take it.
No, I'm good. I'm not on a call. I'm listening to the brother that's saying Mo Ali is doing well. And the menu is Mo Waterbo Ali. Mo Waterbo Ali. And that's the menu. They make sure everybody get water in the country. So beautiful job from Mo Ali, by the way. We must applaud him. He's working so hard. But yesterday he remained one of my enemy in progress. Nelson.
Oh.
I want to say, yeah. The man working so hard.
How can a man be working so hard for the man I want to enemy in progress?
And as I stand on anything you do, I agree. Oh man, that's it, man. You ate fried potato screen today, Nelson. Information reaching me that your sister cooked fried potato screen for you today. And I hope you enjoy it, Nelson. We're gonna be having the Ambassador John Balut. We're gonna be having Mame, Kev Hassan Ketema, and the rest of the guys. We're gonna be having a great show today. Man, I'm hearing a disturbing news in the government. This one will shake the nation, but I have to hold it close to my chest. Very bad news. Very bad news. It will shake the whole nation, the whole Africa. We'll call European Union, United Nations, and everybody. Yeah. Yeah. It will shake everybody, to tell you the truth. I'm not kidding. I'm concerned, you know. And whenever I appear on the show, people say, well, stand on. I mean, why is it? Because I compile a lot of information. They'll say, for the sake of Liberia, I just gave myself. I want to tell my daughter, I gave myself away.
Okay.
So you can use me. I gave myself away. Hey. You don't know that song, right?
I know this song.
That's who I am. I gave myself away, oh Lord, so you can use me. So the Liberian people, I just gave myself to y'all. That you can talk to me and I'll talk to y'all. And then begin to sing. I gave myself away so you can use me. I gave myself away. And that's it. That's it. Listen. That's some for the Holy Ghost Spirit on you. Your whole body be then you go on there nothing. Yeah, that's it. And people that know the song know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, share the show. We have the former senator, the former ambassador, John Balu, is coming on. One-on-one with the CEO. You have to share the show. If you give yourself away for the cause of Liberia, if you give yourself away for better education, you give yourself away for better health care. You give yourself away. You preach. You tell the people, you speak to government, upon the government, that we need better roads. Amen, Nelson. That the young should be well educated. That's important. Letter up. The University of Liberia say they're not opening. They no money. Can you imagine? I think I saw the letter to you, Nelson. They said no money. So it's time that you join us and we join you to build a better Liberia, to think a better Liberia, to love a better Liberia, and to build, amen, in this our lifetime, that we can say, I gave myself away so you can use me. I gave myself away. Echo. Where's that spirit of gold? Where's the beautiful, beautiful country? Since Charlie Quintan, I want to say to all of you, just share the show. A lot of stuff is coming. Listen, I would not stop doing what I'm doing. Till at least in our lifetime, we see the goodness of Liberia with the help of God. Nelson, show me the video before we bring the ambassador on. What happened today at the Golden Key Hotel, where I'll send it to you, Nelson. Can you upload it, please?
Yeah,
where you have the executive committee of the Unity Party. They were gathering, and you said, "Who? How did we get here? How did we get here, my people? Wherever you join us, Tamak, Bese. Tamak, thank you very much. Tubak, thank you. Siata Tengbe, my sister Siata, how you doing? They call you Charles Kama, and Mo Janine. Who we got? Mary Weir, Agatha Glasgow, James Sonin Fopa. Who we got again? Baby Sister Jackson, Joy Carter, Mebeda Tuba, Joe Gaffroy, Nicholas Bonti, Amos, my man, how you doing today? Tommy Johnson, and every one of you, Congo Johnson, George Sumo Jr. I want to say, listen, Adaman, Bintu, Cherie, I want to say Abu, Vamuya, Dolet, Alio, Taye. Now listen, Nukwe Malaya, we're going to discuss national issue today. We're going to come and talk about everything. That's why I'm waiting for you. If it's not ready, I'm going to bring the ambassador on. But you know what? Let me bring him on because a lot of folks want him on. Let me bring in Ambassador. Ambassador, thank you for joining us. Ambassador John About, thank you very much. Sorry I took away the junior, but yet indeed, I don't know what I should say call you, JR. Thank you, Ambassador. It's good to see you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Nelson,
Yes,
it's
sir.
nice meeting you. Good to see you as well.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I'm going to start that the guys can join us because, again, we have time different. It's 8:35 in Liberia, or it's 3:35 wherever I am today. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, your question, your comment, Bill Carson, please. We'll be happy to read your questions to the ambassador today. As you know, John A. Balu Jr. served as Senator of Maryland County for a long, long time. I'm not going to say it, but again, he bringing a lot of great experience to the discussion tonight. We're going to go deeper in politics. We're going to talk about the national issue, talk about this government that he championed. Remember, one of the famous pictures we'll be putting up. Nelson going to get it ready with Senator John and John Balu and how you call him, James Banning, and the current Vice President, then Vice Presidential Kennedy, Jeremiah Coon, got stuck in the mud on the way to Maryland. That's how fight he was part of the game. He was part of this fight. So we like to go back in history. As you know, last year, up to now, last year, November 17, 2023. I mean, this day, welcome to the show. But as you think back, Ambassador, what you make of today? Today, people were celebrating on the street. Today was like a new heaven. Today was a new day in Liberia last year. I want you to take us back a little bit while you do your opening. This is the day that God transformed, and what everything you spoke about, God gave us a new leadership. So talk to us. Welcome to the show.
Well, all of us that participated in the political exercise to exercise our democratic franchise, to take part in the requirements of democracy, that we have this appointed rendezvous on election day. All those who participated in making this change a reality, well, I congratulate them. We all fought for a better Liberia. We had an opportunity to assess what we had before us, and we all agreed that this wasn't good enough. This wasn't what we had asked for. And so, no, we participated. And in anticipation of a more concerted, more organized, a more visionary, an assertive approach. That's why we campaign for accountability and transparency. We campaign for the rule of law. We campaign for jobs. We campaign for fight against drugs, illicit drugs. And we now have the opportunity, and we're all grateful today that we have this opportunity. And I still remain optimistic that things are going to get better. I remain very optimistic that those who fought for this are all well-meaning people, very competent people, people with a driven passion for change and a marked difference in trying to demonstrate this change. So I'm optimistic. I think it's going to happen. It might have been slow because like every new government coming in, it's expected that you have some hitches here and there. We learn, of course, I mean, this 1 year is a learning curve. Yes, some people say, but Unity Party is not your first term there. You've been there before. So you could say that about the CDC, maybe any other party coming, like the, who have not yet tasted the power. But yes, Unity Party was there before, but not in this kind of melting pot. We now have a lot of partners who had all joined us. So a lot of political parties, they had these political marriages, and everyone come up with their own expectations. These were not people who were supporting it round one. They came on board and they fought and they did make a big difference. And yes, we still owe it to them for the victory that we enjoy today. Without them, it would not have been an easy ride, we must admit to all of us. So yes, when you have people of different texture and makeup, different chemistry, it is not an easy thing to manage that. Being the president is a tough job for him. We already have all these competing priorities in moving forward. You have all these campaign promises that the people of this country demanded during the campaign. And then all of these partners and political parties and auxiliaries, I think you've seen some of them that you mentioned earlier, who are all come on board. So how do you manage this concoction? How do you manage this new melting pot? So yes, we've had a lot of hitches, ups and downs, sometimes very frustrating, sometimes very encouraging, but we remain optimistic, and I still remain optimistic. I think things can get better. Already, I'm just satisfied with the fact that we do have a very civilized, more organized society. We do have people now more matured, and that's a beginning. It's a good start.
Well, again, thank you very much, Ambassador, and Mama, welcome to the show. Thank you very much. As we jump into the program, like you going back into 2023, a lot of folks out there, you were part of those that walked through the purple water, under the rain, in the mud, taking, I think it was was it a generator or something you guys took to Maryland or Grand Crew? Can you talk to us? You and the then Senator Jeremiah Coon.
Oh, I think it was an X-ray machine for the hospital.
X-ray machine.
The people had asked him for, when we made a visit at the hospital, he met with the workers, the health workers, and including the health workers. These are people who, all professional people who have come on board from different political parties. And I said, look, man, how can you run a whole hospital without an X-ray machine? The ones that were there were broken, not replaced. How can you do that? And so they asked him for that. He was touched because he said, normally you go to these places, people are asking you for money for themselves. He said people are asking for an X-ray machine for the hospital, for the patient, for the country, the county. And so he offered, because he had one in Nimba, and he offered it, and I offered to transport it and carry it to the county, and we did just that.
Why are you now not part of this government?
Sorry?
Why are you not a full runner in this government, a front runner? Why are you?
But that's the choice of the president.
No, I mean, why are you not actively involved? Like, I mean, let's have some good conversation. A lot of folks are concerned why John Badu is out, and he's not been appointed or nominated yet.
Well, like I said, that's the prerogative of the president. And I'm not here to make any demands or to make any disparaging statements because I've not been brought forth to the fore. Like I said on this particular show many times, and I said to the president himself and many other people who try to raise this issue, what I fought for, I already got it. I thought we had a situation where we had a very irresponsible government and we had to bring forth something different. And yes, I've already got my reward. I said to the president, if you need me, I will be both honored and humbled. Jump to the first opportunity and occasion to serve. But if you don't need me at this time, you don't owe me any explanation. And I mean it. After the conversation, you asked me that question, I said it here. I think this is my probably third time saying it. So no, the president doesn't owe me anything other than the fact that to deliver on what we promised the people, what we fought for. That's my greater gratification. That's what I would be looking forward to. But having said that, it would be only fair to say that I have been spoken to, okay, on some possible inclusion into the government. And so I don't want to preempt anything now. I just want to, respect the privacy of the conversation and give the president all due courtesy to act in his own time.
What you make about, and we'll bring in Mame and Kev Hassan, thank you for joining. What do you make about the current status of the government right now? For example, corruption.
Well, and I'm sure you have a list, a whole laundry list to go around to. And I'm not here.
So, and that's what I'm going to take it. Sorry, sir. And I'm going to take it one at a time. Corruption.
Right. And I'm not here to defend anything that, doesn't seem right to me. I, like many of your panelists who opt to remain objective in the interest of the state, we speak very freely. And like I said, so when you mention issues like corruption, yes, there are some instances of corruption. There are some very concerning and alarming instances. And I do expect some actions to be taken. So far, some of them have been delayed, but I still remain optimistic and I still anticipate some actions taken because these only dilute our overwhelming resolve as a party and as a people who fought to make the change. So if we let certain of these things sweep under the carpet, then it undermines our own standing before the people.
Mame, let's stick to the corruption question because we are not many, we can enjoy ourselves. So you can answer 2 or 3 questions and we'll go to Kev. Then we'll come up with the next subject matter because, we have enough time with the ambassador and we can learn something today. Mame, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Ambassador. It's good to be with you on the show.
Likewise, thank you.
Regarding corruption, I just wanted us to talk about the process. You've monitored different audit reports, came up, your statement. There's one that caught my attention and how the president treated that. What would be your advice for the future? The audit report from the central bank. The audit report from the central bank. The audit report presented to the president. In that process, the deputy governor resigned, and in her resignation letter said, I've reached a conclusion with your advisors that I will resign and you will pay me my benefits. Our interpretation of that was the president's office were compromising the findings of the audit for the resignation of the deputy governor, rather than using the findings from the audit to investigate the deputy governor. What would be your advice if you were in that room?
Well, listen, in the government structure, there are safety checkpoints. What you're just speaking of today, we can talk about it on radio, on television, and express our opinion. Because if there was an audit conducted and some financial breaches or violations, misappropriation, or simply put, corruption established, nobody should be compensated. You should be outrightly fired. But if this is the case, as you are quoting, because I didn't really follow it to the letter, but if this is exactly as you are quoting it, then of course it's a matter of concern. And who's supposed to deal with it? Is this Mr. Mame or John Balut or Stanton or any other person? No. We can talk about it. You can raise the issue like you're doing a perfect job in raising the issue, getting the population to get involved and put the people pressure on the legislature. This is where your legislature come in. This is where the Committee on Public Accounts will come in. This is where the legislature, the House and the Senate, they should be having public hearing on this. And in that very legislature, you have opposition. So it's not going to say, oh, it's a unity party. The unity party doesn't dominate the legislature, in my opinion. So there is no excuse for a legislature not being proactive or acting in the interest of the state. So what you're saying, I totally agree with you. Under normal circumstances, if everything you say in the school, then that person should not be compensated. And your assumption based on what you are reviewing because of this whole idea of compensation coming, it means someone is being compromised. These are all concerns that anybody can develop. So to avoid this kind of assumptions, which is not healthy for the image of the government, let there be a clear-cut implementation of the audit report. And then if there are some doubts, let the legislature act. That's why the legislature is there. You know, like I said, they're the first branch of government for a reason. The president is the most powerful person in the country, but the legislature is the most powerful branch in the country. As an institution, it is more powerful than the president. As an individual, the president is more powerful than everybody. The legislature can impeach the president, can fire the president cannot fire a single lawmaker. So if you are there, clothed with so much authority to protect the interests of the people and the state, and if you don't do that, then that question shouldn't be going to John Balu today. It should be going to the speaker, it should be going to the pro temp, it should be going to the opposition bloc, it should be going to the leadership of the legislature. And you should hold them accountable until there's a rational and logical explanation for this dubious and controversial, or for lack of a better word, confused situation. The citizens and the country should not be confused. The legislature, you should hold them accountable and let them answer to this.
Thank you. Second question on audit. The president commissioned an audit of the Liberia Telecommunication Authority. That was one of the audits that President Walker himself commissioned. I'm not talking about GAC or LACC doing its statutory duty of doing regular audits. This one, the president instructed, like in the case of the central bank, the president instructed or requested the GAC to commission an audit of the LTA and present the finding, because according to him, there are legitimate concerns of financial improprieties and mismanagement. That audit was conducted, and because of that, he suspended commissioners and said you will remain suspended until the audits conducted and the findings are presented to me. Audits were conducted, findings presented to the president. Is over 3 months, or even maybe 4 months, maybe 3 months, since those findings were presented. One of the president's appointees at the LTA is implicated in the audit. To date, no action, no comment from the president. We are suspecting, again, that this commissioner, like in the case of the central bank, where compromises were reached, have been able to use his proximity to power to make compromises, to step on the audit finding. My question to you, what would be your advice to the president if he's listening to you on the LTA audit findings that have been presented to him?
Well, listen, there's no one person that is more important than the interest of the state or the image of the presidency. Nobody, no matter how close they are to you. So, like the audit of the central bank, and I don't want to speak, it's not because I'm avoiding the subject matter.
Yes, I got it.
I don't want to speak of things that I don't have total, absolute knowledge of. Otherwise I would be political, I would be naive, and I would be regretting my statement and say, oh, I didn't know. Because I don't know everything about it, I'd rather be cautious on the side of avoiding them. So let's put it this way. I've heard you raise this issue. Why don't you ask the government itself? You guys have to look, spoon is spoon. This is not like yesterday when you were beginning. This is the powerhouse of Liberia transformation right now. You are the conscience of the society. Maybe you don't know the weight you carry, but nobody in this country can ignore your role you play, and rightfully so. So if you can call on the president's spokesperson, the information minister, the minister of justice, you have that leverage, you have that standing in the society, and I think you should exercise it. Get a GSE, explain what does it mean. Look, if there's someone still in certain position defiant to all logical interpretation of any audit, then there must be something that is not clear somewhere. And it doesn't necessarily mean that someone is being compromised. It sometimes means that they have not exerted enough due diligence in the audit, and some of the findings are being flawed. Otherwise, there should be no reason for outright execution of the audit report. So for you to make it simple, first of all, I commend the government for conducting these audits. Normally, if you have something to hide, you don't go rushing to conduct audits. So that's a very good sign already in favor of the government. If these audits reports have not been implemented to the letter, and there have been some exceptions into the execution of the implementation, then those clarifications ought to be sought. And I think you are in the best position to do that for the interest of the Liberian people understanding. But every other situation you ask me about, I will tell you, look, we campaign on accountability. We campaign on audit. We want to see a full audit of the entire government.
Okay, let me interrupt you, sir. I'm sorry, Mommy, I think it was your last question, right? All right, let me interrupt you real quick. And welcome to the show, Katema, and our friend, Brother Clinton. We're going to do the two questions, but this is a different style of the spoon talk, which we call the one-on-one with all these guys. It's good to have you. Our topic right now is corruption in government. Why are we having audit? Why did the government, why did the president call for audit? Just for those out there to understand why, Ambassador.
Well, the president had campaigned on accountability. That was paramount on the campaign messages. We echo that message because we strongly believe Liberia is not a poor country. We've been blessed. We are endowed with a lot of natural resources, a lot of opportunities. What is happening here is, like I tried to describe the last time, the pump station on water and sewer, pumping water, and somebody on the old road needs to get water, a community. They are not receiving water, not because there's not enough water in the reservoir, but because the piping, there are too many holes, too many leakages. So the water will leak before reaching old road. This is exactly what's happening in this country. Our problem is not the lack of resources, it's the lack of effective management of these resources.
Okay, so I agree because I'm sorry, Chief. I'm sorry, Ambassador. The reason why I asked why we have an audit is because when the result from GSC or LDCC comes forward, and thank God for President Bwaka, but some he fired, and some he still keep them. I want you to speak to that before we go to Kev, and it will be only important for us to understand, maybe get into your senatorial mind, your stay in government. Why do you think leaders do these things? Some of them immediately dismissed. And some of them, conclusion came forth immediately dismissed. But when you have Abdullah Kamara at LTA in the sum of almost $3 million on the audit report that he embezzled, why is he still there? Just one, all of the many.
Well, like I said, if I'm faced with that, if I look before this audit, if I'm clothed with the authority to act based on having an informed position, and I have all the facts before me, if he's guilty, he would not be there. If he's still there, that means there's something not clear about it. And that could mean there are some erroneous findings that makes it difficult for the president to act on him, or like Mami have said, other people may have been compromised. So in the interest of clarity, to get this thing off our backs, like I said to you, there's nothing wrong with calling your justice minister. I mean, you guys are playing.
So I'll bring this news to you. Yeah, we reached out to LCC. LCC have the findings. They published the audit report. They submitted a document. And the issue is that we have over almost 100 cases, nowhere to prosecute or try those cases. The deadline of trial of those cases within the court system is forever. Maybe it will not after this government. The issue that the Justice Ministry is so jam-packed right now with everything added on them. How can you drag that case in that power, knowing very well it will not see the daylight because other cases in front of it? But the president instantaneously dismiss other people, but saying I want to get a full investigation from the Minister of Justice before I can fire this gentleman.
Okay, since you want a very blunt answer from me, maybe I should be blunt with you. I don't know what's before the president. I don't know why he has not fired this person. You understand me? And if everything you're saying is clear and to the letter accurate, then of course the president should be acting in the affirmative. If he's not, again, I say, I don't know. He's the president. He has more before him than I have. And I don't want to jump to conclusion to start saying something about the president that I can't defend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Kev Hassan.
Senator Balu, welcome to the 101 with the CEO. I love to ask a simple question so I can have a simple answer because I'm a simple man. The president campaign on, you said, accountability, corruption, and so forth. His former commerce minister, former chairman of his party, when he resigned because of corruption, my question to you, do you think that he should be turned over to the LCC?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last part.
Do you think Amin Moda should be investigated and turned over to the LCC? Do you think LCC should investigate Amin Moda for act of corruption?
Well, listen, it's not about what I think or what I don't think. It is about what our laws say and what our policy is. If he's supposed to be investigated, then yes, he should be investigated and turned over to the LCC. It's not what I want or what I don't want.
Do you believe his action was corruption?
Well, again, I do know that he said he resigned because of the controversy and his peace of mind. Okay, he could have held on, going for investigation and clarify himself like I thought he tried to do. Mind you, he wasn't alone in this. You had Double Jala also brought in from the LRA. Okay, from the LRA. Look, if Double Jala is still there in that position, is to show that there is something not too clear about what was going on.
What do you mean?
Is it a policy issue?
What do you mean?
Is it a misguided judgment? Is it a misjudgment on accessing these funds and what you can do and how you do it? Is it outright corruption? Is it misappropriation? Is it abuse of power? No, I think if he should be investigated based on what the law requires, then of course, it has nothing to do with what I think. If you want to ask me what I think, I still think that every entity of government should be audited like we promised, the findings made, and we close the chapter and move on to reconstruction and developing the country. If we don't do that, we're carrying the baggage over to the next year and makes it more difficult for us to even hold the previous government accountable. So clear out my opinion on the issue of corruption. You can't compromise it. That's what we fought for. So if you mean how strong I am, how passionate I am about it, very strong, very passionate. And if you have any issue, you know, you are privy to a lot of information, more than I am. If you have anything that is not clear, stand on the rest of you guys. Some of your lawmakers, some of your speakers, some of your pro tems, some in the Public Accounts Committee. Inform them, put the pressure on them, direct it, transfer it to them, because they are the ones responsible to deliver this. None of you on that panel can do that. I don't have it, except to raise the issue and hold them accountable.
Senator, let me say this to you before I go to my second question. Amin Moda, the funds are allocated to him going through the PPCC, and that was an act of corruption. My question was to you. I don't know if you follow, and this station broke that news, put out all the documents, and he resigned. My question to you, based on that, I don't know if you follow, but if you follow, based on that, why the president is not recommending or calling LACC to investigate? Why Amin Moda and the president were in a meeting yesterday, having the party meeting? Why? You said it.
Senator,
Let me just end it. You said it clear that your campaign on corruption.
It's okay. I mean, it's unfair I make this correction, forgive me, but let me do this. I mean, when I was turned over to LCC for full investigation, I'm seriously informed. Again, let's just let everyone know. The issue that I mean is mingling with the party. You can ask that question. It's only fair. But I mean was turned over for full investigation, and he's under LCC investigation as we speak.
Okay.
I just want to make that question.
Thanks for making that. Maybe I may add this, because I was just about to answer Kev directly, because he wanted a very direct answer. I would have said yes, and it's in the best interest of Amin himself to clear his name that he wants to clear. You know, once you have all these scandals and things around you, if your conscience is clear, then you should really be opting for investigation so that the clarity be made. Yes.
Okay, my second question. Are you aware about the $500,000 funds that was taken from Nascop by Sylvester Grisby in buying cars? And, you know, up to now, nobody knows where the cars are at this moment. But he's still there at the mansion. Talking about fighting corruption, do you think the act of Grisby is a corruption, or do you think that the president could just ask for money, even though, you know, at that time they were not in government? Do you think it's an act of corruption? And if it's an act of corruption, why is Grisby still at the mansion as Minister of State?
Well, I think, thank you for raising this, Kev. There are a lot of, you know, talk about, you know, what happened that time. What I can say, because this has not been brought to some logical finality, I think it's embarrassing the government, and it has embarrassed the government long enough. I think it ought to be clear. Did Grisby make this move in a hasty way to prepare for the inauguration, knowing that they had guests coming in the countries that didn't have enough, whatever? Did he make this move in the interest of that? If so, is it corruption, or is it a very bad decision, bad decision made. Are those vehicles visible, available, or are they missing in action? That shouldn't be difficult to verify. If those vehicles are available, let's show them. Let's clear this air. If they're missing in action, then of course something is seriously wrong, because I doubt it beyond any argument that those vehicle boards will disappear in thin air. There is no thief in this country stupid enough to let that happen. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of ingrained politics into this.
Ken,
okay.
Let me answer. It will come in the second round. You'll continue. I beg you. Ambassador, please proceed.
You know, when it comes to certain people like Grisby, he has his own controversy within the Unity Party setting itself. He has his own controversy within the rescue mission itself. He has his own controversy in this, but that's the person the president has chosen. That's his judgment, and he feels comfortable with him because that is a very strategic position for the president. Now, having said that, I doubt it that those vehicles have disappeared in thin air. And it's foolhardy to not, for Grisby or the government or the Ministry of State to not come up now and make the clarification and show these vehicles and lay this matter to rest. I think it's embarrassed the presidency for too long. Opposition, politicians, opposition advocates would just play with it and run with it. And this is unnecessary. So yes, it should be brought to some finality. Those vehicles definitely ought to be there. And there's no way out of that. So again, Stanton, put this thing out. We're going to the end of the year. Do the Liberian people a favor. Don't carry all the gossips. Don't carry all these unending stories into next year. Close your books like any company will close their financial records. Close your books. Give the people an opportunity to come clear. If not, call the people who you know can clear it. But I think these unanswered questions, it's high time that it be answered. And
thank you very much.
No one is doing the president any favor.
But my question is, Stanton, it was not about the vehicle specifically. It's about the act. At that moment, the government was not in power, asking to get the folks' retirement, our folks' retirement money. I'm asking you, if that action, if it's not an act of corruption, or is justified at that moment to this ask for money that you at that moment that you are not in power, and even if you are in power to ask for money.
Thank you.
Nascop, that's my question there to you. How you see it? You think it was right, or is
thank you, Kev. Let me give you another 10 seconds, Ambassador. Then we'll move to after that.
Kev, I would tell you, I wouldn't have done it that way. Okay. And I think if we didn't have the vehicles or we didn't have the things to accommodate these guests coming, the shame wouldn't have been on us. It would have been on the CDC government who had tried to sabotage this whole activity. But people thought that they needed to compensate, and so they went the extra mile. Today they're in trouble for trying to cover our behind so as to make make Liberia look good. But this was not the responsibility of the incoming government to prepare, provide vehicle, provide accommodation, provide all these logistical support.
But that's not the place. That's not the place.
So I'm just saying to you, I think it was not an appropriate thing he did.
Let's do it one at a time. Let's move ahead.
Answer your question. No, I don't approve.
Thank you, Ambassador. We'll come back on the second round, then we can continue. Let me bring in. We got information on the vehicle, by the way, Ambassador. Almost, I think 3 or 4 of the vehicle is on the counterform. They don't know where it's at. One of the vehicle is given to Grisby's daughter mom, who is the protocol, his former girlfriend, or who is the protocol to the president. She uses one of the vehicle. So we know you cannot find some of the vehicle, and this is very angry. It's so bad that the Liberian people are bad. We had Jeremy Pierre coming on air, the information minister. He said the vehicle, they would refund the money in the budget. But that's the Liberian people money. You went to the poor people place, you got the money, you use the money, and you go back in the budget to use the poor people money again to refund. So that is something like it's confusing to a lot of people. But this vehicle, one of them, the protocol to the president, Sylvester Grace with Baby Mom, she also one of them. She own one of them. The rest of them, we don't know. They are not at GSA. It's not at the executive mansion compound. And this is the embarrassment to this government. But I don't want you to answer. Maybe you will take a spill. Let me bring in our brother, Abdullah Kiatama. Abdullah, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
You're loud, Abdullah. Speak up.
Yeah. Well, Senator Balu, how are you, sir? And welcome to the show. Look, I like a more objective look at issues. All the questions have been focused on what is wrong. I want you to have a sense of appreciation of some of the actions of our leaders. Since this government came to power, I want you to catalog and highlight some of the good work they have done on cracking down on corruption, on taking actions to send the loudest and clearest message that this would not be business as usual. That's my question to you. I want us to look at the good side. Not everything is bad about what the president is doing. The president must have done some good work. And we are the authors of ourselves. Let's author some good stories about ourselves. Let's see some of the progress. So there are ordinary people who are sacrificing to hold system accountable. We should not erase them from history because we focus on everything is bad. Tell us about the good news this government has done to crack down on corruption, to take actions, to change the system, to prevent business as usual. That's my question, sir.
Well, look, this government has taken a big leap forward in trying to ensure accountability. Yes, we may not have been all satisfied with everything, but they have dealt with the elephant in the room. Today, that we can now have the war crimes, economic war crimes, and all of that court established, that's a big leap forward. Mind you, this is a man who's been in power, who's been in office in public space and public life for the past 40 years, like we said. So if anyone should have anything to hide, it should be the president. And if anyone who have anything to hide and don't want to suppress this kind of accountability, it should be him. But the fact that he has gone forth with this is commendable. Commendable. Today, if we can even speak of, just look at what's going on with LEC. We're now looking for a new managing director. There's an announcement out there for anybody. It doesn't matter your ID card, whether you're CDC or Unity Party or Liberty Party or ANC or what. I mean, other people will just keep it to themselves, close circuit, and just appoint one of their cronies. So if you're asking me that they have met up to my own expectations in what we expected to happen at this time, I will tell you no. Because I expected a whole lot more. But then again, that's just me. It is easy for Senator Balut, Ambassador Balut, or any of us to have this high expectation, but it's even more of a burden on the president to manage this expectation, to manage his reform, commensurate his capacity and ability to deliver on them without compromising the structure of the state. For those of you who can read parables and read between lines, you'll probably understand what I'm saying. So no, I mean, it's heavy is the crown, the head of the one who carries the crown.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Exactly. So yes, I may say, no, I'm not satisfied. But that's Ambassador Balut. So the president is faced with the harsh reality of these 20 meetings a day, conflicting diverse views on them, the way forward, why we can move forward now, how we're moving forward, what is it that we require and need to move forward. He is confronted with all of these challenges that you and I are not familiar with, and we may not. So no, if you ask me, I'll just say, yes, he has done some of these, and they're very glaring. You've seen the actions taken on some of his own ministers and his people. He's holding them accountable. I think we have seen more people dismissed and suspended in this one term that we probably see in the entire 6 years of the previous government. Those are efforts of somebody who's making efforts. Thank you.
Okay, so I like to segue to another issue, but while listening to you, I captured something. There was not a list that was easy to be remembered of the specific step by the president to address corruption. I see you trying to produce something. That tells me that there's not enough to celebrate. That tells me that something is missing on your list. So I was saying,
I'm sorry.
you know, so you're trying to fill in the gap. I saw the love in your eye. You want fixing. I know you're Mickey, but it was her. That yes, I'm laughing. That tells you we got some struggle. Tell me the truth. We got some struggle.
Let me tell you the truth. They should tell you that I'm not the official spokesperson of the government, so I'm not close to all this information and all of the progress statistics. I'm here as a general guest. I was just on the show last night, a few days ago, and CEO said, "Oh, the ambassador wants you on Sunday." We didn't have any prior knowledge on what we're discussing. I don't require it. I come. So
Okay,
what
so
this tells
my
you
second
is that
question-
no,
my second
I'm not
question is
close to
this.
all of the information. No. You asked me. Let me just finish
sorry.
before we go to this.
No, you first a little bit. That's why he told you what done. Go ahead, sir.
Right. So obviously, I'm not prepared to answer all these questions because one, I'm not in the government active. Okay, I'm not in the government. Two, I don't have all of this information readily available, and so I will not be able to speak to you in a convincing way for you, your expectation. So yes, you can conclude I'm filling in the gap. Of course, I will fill in the gap because I am not. Before me, any minister, no one of you can say everything unless you have catalog and you have it ready to defend. So yes,
Okay.
I have said to you sufficient.
Okay. So
very critical instances that I demonstrated this resolve to fight.
We get a little delay.
I have hinted some very critical instances that have demonstrated the president unwavering or a strong determination to ensure accountability and to fight corruption. It's War Economic Crime Court. Nobody could do it. He did it. I give you an example about the number of people he's dismissed, number of people he's suspended. You can go from everywhere, every angle, not only about corruption, but just anything that compromises the effectiveness and efficiency of his government. Going back to the DEA and the rest of these places. Now, I have said, what you have seen in 1 year, the number of suspension and dismissal and actions taken, corrective measures, punitive measures, far outweigh the 6 years of the CDC. So I'm just trying to tell you, in the man's first year, that's something to show that he's making an effort. And as we go into next year, I expect a whole lot more to take place. Because look, I expect the asset recovery to be more organized and be more effective. I don't want it to just some that will fizzle into thin air. I don't want that. I want these audits to continue. I want these audits reports to be implemented to the letter. Unless we do those things, we will have people with critical minds like you holding us accountable and thinking you can embarrass us that we're not doing what we said we were going to do. So the best way forward is to do this, and especially with all of these unanswered questions, I think the government, and it's good that we have in the show, they know that they have to answer these questions. And if you don't answer this question, of course, you don't blame anybody for saying the things you want to say about the government, because Spoon provides a perfect platform to address these concerns.
Okay, my second question is not being much. Look, one of the issues on the arrest agenda is the rule of law and accountability. So those two important policy agenda items. You look at the code of conduct, begin to apply to the code of conduct. You, a public official, you a distinguished senator of our country, you're a statesman. The code of conduct is about the law. It's about making sure that we reduce partisanship. People serve the country rather than loyalty to their party. But we see here that people are in position and say we are openly flaunting and disregarding the law, the code of conduct. And it is okay to do that. What message are you sending? And I'm going to pair this question so you answer both. If you were to rate Boakai from scale 1 to 10 on corruption, including accountability, transparency, cracking down corruption, from 1 to 10, what will be your score? put all together?
Well, right now, I think it will be 7.
7. Okay, explain your
That's
school.
Why?
Now free 7 or highway 7, which one?
Well, look, you know, and maybe I shouldn't use it, but I would not use this example, you know, but you can bring any human being on earth and you put them into that position that the president is in. Fighting corruption in the system that we have, unless we try to revise this system and make it mandatory for certain areas, we're not, as long as the fight remains discretional, it's always going to be compromised. If we have laws, and that's why we talk, for me, I'm not interested in the mistakes we're making so much so as I am interested in putting measures in place to avoid these mistakes from hampering the future of the country. Take, for example, if we have a policy of government that every government entity will be audited once a year, and we will fund the GAC to that effect, that is a policy that guarantees accountability. It guarantees accountability. It doesn't matter whether the legislature want to be audited or not. You are a government entity, you receive public money, you receive the taxpayers' money. Poor people working for $200, $150, $100 to pay taxes that pays you. You will audit the legislature, you will audit the traditional council, you will audit Cottington, you will audit Cali Hospital, you will audit the Linsu, you will audit every entity that receives $1 from government. If you don't want to be audited, don't receive government funding. Unless we can adapt this thing, bring anybody that will have that grade or less. You understand? I hope you don't ask me what grade the CDC had in the 6 years. I beg you don't ask me. You don't want to know the grade.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you. Let me bring in Clinton. Our brother Clinton, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stanton. Thank you. I don't know what is this thing with a lot of the Unity Party sins and officials of the Unity Party government. What is it with the CDC? I listen to the senator, and a lot of times when he talks, he tries to say the Unity Party, have done more than the CDC. Look, Senator, we had an election. However small the margin, the Liberian people elected the Unity Party. Let's forget the CDC. It's history. They lost the election. You campaign on whatever you campaign on, corruption, rule of law, the ball is now in your court to execute. And we want to hear what the government is doing. Let's forget CDC. There's a reason why the CDC lost the election. Now, I don't think I really have a question, because I think my dear brother Kyatamba said you struggle to fill, you're looking for a lot of gap fillers as far as what the government has done, with fighting corruption. Because if there are things, if there are landmark things that you can easily point to that the government has done, it shouldn't be hard. If the president has taken some major decisions about corruption, it shouldn't be hard. I understand some of the dismissal, but one question: would you consider the suspension of the young assistant minister of information as part of the the president's action to hold officials accountable? I'm talking about Matthew Youngblue, the one who was
yeah, I mean, of course, that's trending now, and everyone is discussing it. Look, Matthew, right? He found himself in a very, tight spot. He's from the government information arm. Okay, he's a high-level government official in that ministry responsible for dissemination information. Information emanating from that ministry have to be consistent. You understand me? In one direction, projecting the government's opinion. Nobody takes a right to speak. Okay, I think he opted to exercise that right. Two things he could have done. Correct it, make all these things inside, make all the noise inside, get all the facts, try to alter and change the narrative or present another narrative from the ministry. And if he got it frustrated enough that he cannot handle it, he could opt to resign. And then he goes and be himself and speak the way he wants to speak. I am speaking, and I will speak very frankly on issues tonight with you. Yes, that's who I am. That's how I've grown up in my political life. I've been a senator independent of executive pressure. But as an ambassador, I could not speak my mind. I had to speak the government policy. When I reached the point where the government policy conflicts with my personal opinion on issue, and we cannot find a marriage of our opinion and a way forward, then I resign. But I will not be as an ambassador and saying something contrary to the government position. So you cannot be in that position and saying something contrary to the government's position. You can say no comment, that is your right. You can refuse to address these issues publicly because some people will want to shy away and use you and say, I don't feel comfortable with this, and so I'm not going to do that. Nobody can suspend you for that. Nobody can fire you for that. You get me? But when you exercise that right, which is your right, nobody takes it from you. But when you exercise it, you know the risk you're taking and you accept that risk you're taking. And so, yes, it happened. Does it make him a villain or a hero? No, it makes him a man of his own integrity, a man of his own conviction. He's opted, except that actions were taken. Just how he's free to speak, government too have the right to make sure that you don't have somebody who contradicts government opinion and position on this. So the government acted in accordance with their own policy. They didn't jail him. They didn't do anything. They just said, look, since you feel contrary and you feel that you're going to be making statements, then we can rely on you for the consistency of our information. So those are things that are taken. So, I mean, he being a hero or a villain depends on who's looking at it. But I think government did what they had to do. He did what he had to do. Nothing spoiled anyway. We move forward as a nation.
But I understand, the position of the young man. Obviously, like you said, he has, his fundamental right to do. The government also, the president can decide to keep him. He said, by the way, in place of the president. But I wanted to speak more specifically about what do you think about the president's decision? How does this look for the government? A program that everybody, is talking about, that this is a scam and is everything. And you have a minister who said he's worked, with his bosses and try to, bring this as like, this is a problem. This is a problem. You cannot be spending this anyhow. And then, he's fired by the president. How does it, look for the president's, agenda as far as wanting to fight corruption and everything else? How does that make the president look if he's getting rid of officials or suspending officials who, after trying everything they tried, to bring to his attention or his official attention that this is a problem, the country has been scammed, and he's been fired?
Again, this whole student loan program, grant, whatever it is still in the making. And I am of the conviction, I don't think it will even fly, okay? Because of the bad publicity it has received upon landing. Spoon has dissected this thing, and has removed the entire intestine, put it on the table. The discussion is on. This lady and her team, what they call it, necotech or whatever, they've been at the public hearing, they had conversation, they met with other people. It's in the process. I think he could have, again, it's not my place to tell him. He is a responsible man. He's an intelligent person. I respect him for his bold decision to move forward on it, knowing the consequences he would have been faced with. I'm just saying, let us also respect the executive for not having somebody in the rank and files at that level, at the Ministry of Information, who will send conflicting information out at the time that they're still processing this thing, because the president has to make the final decision on all of these things. So they could have very well altered this thing and manage it and, trash it or reformulate it in the making. He's part of the team. He's part of the team from inside, So, I mean, I think I've said enough about this one.
Thank you. So let's get to necotech/education portion of the conversation. And again, I want to say to you, Ambassador, it's good having you folks. It's good to have you likewise joining us. Please, if you have your comment, your question, I would love to read them to Ambassador John Bowden Jr. because indeed we all make this show why it is today. Ambassador, let's talk about the necotech. I mean, it's just, I don't know, but what do you think the position of Sarah Bessler should be now? She independently, personally championed this project to bring necotech in the country. All right. Our information we have gathered, the education minister was blindsided. Likewise, she's not seeing or hearing her name out there a lot. She said she took the link down from the education website, ministry website. She took the link down. I can say to you, Jeremy Pierre felt under the spell of Sarah, the minister Beslow, because he was convinced that the government was putting $25 million in this thing. The government have secured, that's the word they use, right, Mommy? Secure a $25 million non-collateral loan for this program. You have served as an ambassador or senator. You know the terrain. But what do you make of this disaster? After the lady came in the country, the owner of necotech, she have her own problem in Ghana, by the way. But she came in the country and said, listen, we have no loan. We are gathering partners to provide loan. The story that students will not pay, but students paying $236, $1,000 for housing. Another one, the total is around $4,000 to $5,000. And the lady said, no, we're taking $236,000 just to prepare your letter. At the town hall meeting, to ask questions, she asked the journalist to turn off their phone, to turn off the camera. And I told my staff, Nelson, I said, no, don't do it. Let him kick you out. So he refused to turn off his camera. And the lady didn't answer the question. If you were in government, explain this damage they have caused to the government from the foreign minister, the number one foreign advisor to the president. And to end, she took the president there. And I would love to place the clip from the president. He was happy. So under this scam, she made the president to believe that she has secured $25 million loan. She made the president to believe that 250 Liberians on the first batch, starting January, will be either in Canada or America. Then there will be a second batch in September. Listen to our president and how disgraceful it is to our nation, not only domestically, but internationally, that Sarah brought this government to an international disgrace. So let me play the president. I would love to hear your honest response. So when you see Matthew going against the position, the fact they were cornered, and now they went for the lower hanging fruit, that's not a fight of corruption, but that's my opinion. Let me play this real quick to get your response, then we'll go to Abu Amabe.
Today I am pleased to announce that more than 250 Liberian students stand to benefit from necotech's no collateral student loan program for African students.
I just don't want to play it all, just to full and speak all. Today I'm pleased to announce that more than 250 Liberians, the president, and the clapping, he is pleased to announce scam. I mean, I speak to us. I don't want to be the one to tell you, but speak to us, sir. It's all yours. Then we'll go to Mommy.
Well, again, like many other things you mentioned, I don't have all the information before me, but I've sufficiently followed on your show. I followed the interview. I followed some other outside interviews. So I think I do have some, minimum knowledge to speak freely. Now, I know all of you are raising the red flag, it's a scam, it's a scam. I don't think this is necessarily a scam. I think, and if you look at, there are some smart people who think they can put supply and demand together. There are opportunities. They connect opportunity. These people serve as bridges. And a lot of people who do that around the world. There are some people who come here and tell us, look, my man, give us the concession agreement with LAC concession agreement of Maryland or Palm or CRC. Once you get on that document, they may not even have a penny. They take that document and goes to the bank and raise the money. So the issue is, do we need to be doing it with those guys, or we do it with our own? You know? Because once you have that MOU or contract signed with government, that's enough reliance for any financial or funding in financial institution to take you seriously. So these people sell the idea, look, there are universities out there. If we have a group backed by the government, you know, this whole idea of sovereign fund and all that.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but that's not what I said.
Let me just tell you what I say, what I think. Then you.
Okay.
I know this is not what you want to hear. So at the end of the day, they say, okay, there are universities that look, we can give you 250 students. Yeah, we'll put them there. Government will back it. If these students don't pay, government will pay all this and that. Schools can go into those kind of thing. And mind you, look, there is a strategy of the advanced society dealing with the, Africa and other third world countries. They have all this strategy to extract from our society our best and brightest ones. These kids are going to pay 4,000, something like that. All our geniuses are going to go there. And the university could be part of their policy. They attract educated, brilliant immigrants instead of just open the floodgate. They select our best. They educate them, and we pay for it. We give the children jobs, and they stay in the country and develop them. And we pay for it from our taxpayer money. So these policies are all strategies and things that people work on. The thing is, do I think that I would rather put $25 million there? I think I would rather invest if I can have that thing in the country instead of educating 250. Maybe I can educate 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000. And after that, 25 million, the infrastructure will still be there for renewed funding for us to go forward on it. But then again, the president is the president. He's fed all of these things. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs, in her own intention, they're very good. And so what is happening today is we are discussing these things in details. And these things would never have had this kind of conversation before if we hadn't had the active media, social media, or if we had not had something like a Spoon. So today, this lady came to Liberia. I saw her hesitating in answering some of these things and moving. And she made it clear, it's not a loan. They are middlemen. They are doing precisely what I just said. And there's nothing illegitimate about it. Nothing illegal about it.
But the foreign minister, sorry, Senator, the foreign minister
doesn't necessarily translate into a scam. It's just not the best option for some of these things.
Yeah, but Senator, let be fair now. The foreign minister says it's a non-collateral loan. Your information minister said it's non-collateral loan. The lady said it's not a loan. The foreign minister said everything will be free. The lady said no, everything will not be free. They have collected student money, and at some point they say, okay, say you cut us, we'll get your money back. It's a scam, sir. Yeah, but as much as you want to be diplomatic, but I agree. You're from the other side of the river, and I'm from right next door, so we're eating different kind of fish when we go fishing. But let Brendan.
No, Senator, let me just say something briefly on this one. This necotech is a middleman. They are connecting you to opportunities. For these opportunities to be realized, they have to be backed by some loan as some now they say non-collateral, but definitely that loan that the government is going to be having is the collateral. You understand me? So give the government chance, let the government, in fact, the government, the foreign minister, the foreign ministry, the minister of education, the cabinet, the government, the president should be able to summon all these people, harmonize their thought, come up with a position statement, and clarify this thing. And there's nothing wrong with correcting. What you have, they call the fifth estate, okay? The fourth estate is for a reason. You form a critical part, a role in governance structure. So it is because of you that the president is hearing a lot of things for the first time on this issue, because he's fed certain information. Because of you, the foreign minister is hearing a lot of things on this issue, because she's fed information. So it's not, our role doesn't have to be confrontational. It is and can be complementary in helping to save this country and make us, all of us, arrive at the right decision. And we're still in the decision-making process. I think this is going to work out because of people like you and other critical minds.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Let's just open it for Anna's question because we cannot restrain it any longer.
Yeah, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the necotech thing a little bit, and then also about the vehicle. You see, when the senior statement say our rules should be complementary, I've had a conversation with Stanton before. It's not need to be confrontational all the time. It can be complementary. Let's begin with the Nascop vehicle. I said this before. I want to say it again. Let's take all the argument whether it was corruption or not. They made a request. The sitting authority, which was the WIA administration, approved that request. My recommendation has always been, let's put the ego aside, Mr. Grisby. Display the vehicles at the GSA. Let Liberians see that these are the vehicles. That one step. The next step, since the vehicles are being used by the Ministry of State as it was reported, and the Ministry of State had a budget to buy a vehicle, the money you should have used to purchase vehicle for the Ministry of State, transfer that money to Nascop and publish the check of the transfer. So people realize that yes, you took the money to buy a vehicle for Ministry of State. These are the vehicles. You use the budget and transfer the money back to Nascop. It significantly addressed the issue. That is a complementary effort we're talking about. On this whole necotech thing.
So 1 minute, I beg you, man. This is what we do, man. So Grace will go to a baby man and get the other vehicle from her.
No, it's not his baby man. She's the chief of.
That's his daughter, man.
No, Akami. She is the chief of protocol for the Republic of Liberia.
Oh, that's why she took the vehicle.
Akami. If she's using a vehicle, if it's a vehicle of the Ministry of State or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, whatever department she found herself in. So it is a government assigned vehicle. My point is there should be no doubt about who has the vehicle and who using the vehicle. There should be no doubt that the government has replenished the funds in the Social Security account. Those two clarity will address the issue. I mean, my baby pa.
No, listen, that's me. That's me. And Ketema know that. When you know Ketema say Gracefield, I'm my uncle, so that's okay. Go ahead.
So that is my own suggestion, complementing whatever they're doing. On the
but mommy, I want to ask you a question if you don't mind. So, if the government approve of the vehicle, then it's a legitimate process. Let's use your example. If the government approve of the vehicle, then it's a legitimate process. What does he have to transfer it to another government agency?
Which government approved? Which government approved?
It's Georgia government. According to Mame, Georgia government.
Oh
yes,
no, that's what I'm saying. No, wait. What do you mean, Kiatamba? It is not according to me. It is the fact.
Okay, all right. Okay, but yeah, you're studying the facts, so you're the reference point.
Yes. But let me ask. When you said the government, what do you mean? Because you can't just say the government. The government is
no.
So government, what do you mean?
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the National Social Security and Welfare Corporation under President George Weah administration approved the purchase of the vehicles. That's fact. I am saying, since the Minister of State said the vehicles were purchased to be used by the Ministry of State, I'm equally now saying this Ministry of State has a budget for the procurement of vehicles. You no longer buying vehicle from your budget because you took money from Nascop to buy the vehicle. Therefore, transfer that excess money to Nascop so it goes back into the Social Security fund because the Social Security fund.
No, before we get there, I know we have our guest who is the ambassador, but I think it's an error to say the CDC government approved the Nascop transaction.
No, I said Nascop under the CDC administration approved.
Oh, thank you for correcting. Okay.
So yeah, because at the time the request was made, President Bouaka was not president. Grisby was not Minister of State.
So let me ask you, who authorized Grisby to go get almost 500,000 to buy a vehicle from?
I want to be asking the question: who authorized Nascop to provide?
No, but I'm asking my question.
Yeah,
Grisby wrote a letter, but hold on, mommy. The letter came from Sylvester Grisby. Sylvester Grisby, in his, let me put the letter up for you to see the letter. A position as incoming chief of staff to the president-elect. How he sounded. Who authorized him? Who did Joseph Bouaka tell him go and get vehicle from Nascop?
Can I come in on this?
Let me learn on this. Or it's just to say, you know what? I'm going to go there and hustle for vehicle, legally or illegally. I really don't care. But I agree with what Ambassador Balu said. Even your county senator, Amara Conner, Darius DeLong, though he have changed his mind on this Grisby issue, they wrote a letter that they can't have nothing to do with Grisby. You have that letter. But to say that this action was accurate because it was approved by the CDC government, no. Somebody told Grisby, and you got Jeremiah Pierre audio that said, listen, we will refund the money. They have taken responsibility, but does it mean that it was legally done?
So, Senator, here's what I'll say. Grisby would not have done it without the approval of President-elect Joseph Bouaka. We should shift the blame on President Bouaka. I think that Bouaka has not treated this Grisby thing with any seriousness because he believes he knows about it. And so we beat it on Grisby for the wrong reason. Let's beat on President Bouaka. Grisby committed no crime. Grisby made a request. Social fund for Nascop is available. Some of that fund went to Joyware tour. The cars were in dilapidated condition. Vice President of China coming to the country. And Nascop boss called Grisby, look, we can help. Just read us a request. Grisby said, let me touch base with the leaders of the incoming administration if they're okay with it. They did that. They requested, they gave the car to Grisby. The car is in GSA as I speak.
Not all of it.
But what I'm trying to tell you, the car is not stolen. The car is not missing. The government
Senator, can I come in? Senator, can I come in?
No, guys, let me quick because after that speaking mistake, I will guess.
We are beating on Grisby for the wrong reason. We should beat on President Bouaka.
Senator,
I will come to you, Ken. I will come to you. But what Ketema is saying make a lot of sense. The issue is that because, and again, maybe Ambassador will address this, the president have failed to address this issue holistically. It's on President Bouaka. I agree with Ketema. It's easy to address while the president is just mute on these things.
Mommy, can I use 1 second of your time?
Your time will come, Kev.
Go ahead, because we have to make this thing
clear.
But you get time to Mommy to Abdullah. So why can I come in and straighten up some of it?
Okay, go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, so let's do this. You see, when we're trying to straighten this country post-war, what we need to do is we need to be honest, not because we support. My proximity to the past government, I can tell you with all confidence, with everything, through the head which Kimia headed, right? No, and I repeat, no request was made to the past government. And take this to any bank, I can tell you for sure, 1 billion%, no requests were made to Kimia, nothing. And over 600,000 were given to this government by the past government.
Okay. So Cap, we should go there. No, Cap, we got Ambassador. So let's get back on track. Mommy, let me just say two things to you. Hold on 1 minute. Mommy, let me say this to you real quick, because are you on track to bring in Ambassador Balu on one? There was no procurement process done. none whatsoever, especially knowing that this should have been done.
Exactly.
And a moratorium was put in by George Manaria to not spend anything over $10,000.
Thank you.
So whatsoever that was done at Nascop, it was illegally done if it was done through Vambubu. What's his name is? Sorry, I'm missing his name.
Yeah.
So you know that very well. But let me get it back to you, Mom, and make your case for us to bring in the ambassador.
My case is a request was made. The person who was in position was appointed by President Weah. It was under his administration. That request was approved.
Who approved it? Who approved it? Who the person? Call name.
No, Kev, wait now, Kev. Kev, wait. Let's have some. Kev, let's have some order. Let Mommy speak. Mommy, go ahead, please.
Grace Bay is not signatory to Nascop account. President Bouaka was not signatory to Nascop account. Nobody in President Bouaka transitional team was signatory to Nascop account. Those who were signatory to Nascop account are people who were appointed by President Weah. The point I'm making is these vehicles were bought. Going forward to address all these issues, whether it's to GSA, whether it's to Nascop, where is it? Let the government prove that the vehicles are ran and operated by government. Let the government prove that the funds were transferred to Nascop. Simple. That was my recommendation. So the necotech issue, Mr. Balud. No, gentlemen, I have to go forward.
Okay.
Yeah, your time will come. I have to go forward. It was just my recommendation to clarify the doubts. On the necotech issue, I don't think the statement is necotech as an institution is a scam. What is a scam is the false marketing that's been done for necotech by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. What are the false marketing? One, that there is a $225 million loan. That's a lie. That's false marketing. Another false marketing, that the government of Liberia is working with the U.S. Embassy to make sure the visa process is easy and expedited. That's false marketing. It's only intended to attract the student because the student know that getting visa is difficult. So when they hear their foreign minister saying the government is working with the U.S. Embassy to make the visa, then they get confident in the process and spend their time and resources. That's false marketing. Another false marketing is when you get on a necotech program and you come to the US, you graduate, you have a job that will pay you at least $80,000 a year. And after 3 years, you're able to pay the loan back. That's false marketing. Nobody can guarantee you a job in America after graduation. It's not possible beside the US government. That's false marketing. And these are not position of the government. So when you say somebody made a statement that contravened the position of the government, these are not position of the government. These are wrong statements by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. To date, there is no agreement on record that we can see between the government of Liberia and necotech. You don't run our country like this. There's no agreement to show. And the Matthew Nyaplu situation is just to make things, I let to brush it aside. Because as we speak, family members are calling us and asking us to send money to them because they fell in necotech form and they need to pay. And they believe it because their president said it. They still don't believe us. They still believe what their president said. They're begging us for money. So we are saying there need to be leadership on this. necotech as an institution is not fraud, it's not a scam. But information surrounding the service they provide is a scam. The same service they provide, Nyato le call it scholar pathway. A young Liberian in Liberia is providing similar service to Liberian students. Wanto. He helping them fill out forms, identifying schools, calling conferences, bringing scholars together to teach them how to apply. The same service. Why can the government of Liberia not promote him? So necotech is not a scam, but the information surrounding the service they provide. One, that's a $25 million loan is a scam. That when you travel under necotech, you come to America, you will get a job. That's a scam. The government working with the U.S. Embassy, that's a scam. necotech has, I think, $67 million grant for students to help them open an account and resettle. That's a scam. But the institution itself is not a scam. our family members are still calling us and asking for support because they believe what their president said, because they believe what the Minister of Foreign Affairs said. There need to be a reversal to that statement.
Thank you, Bame. Ambassador, you'd like to respond, or we should proceed? You heard.
Yes, I mean, one thing we can all agree about. One thing we can all agree on is that the information surrounding this scholarship program has not been coordinated, has not been properly vetted, and has not been properly presented. So yes, even Mame is saying that he doesn't think it's a scam. Okay, that's an improvement on the thought process, but he thinks it's a false marketing. Is the false marketing? I wouldn't even know if it's a false marketing. I just think they're not just coordinating the information surrounding this thing. People are speaking in bits and pieces, like the parable of describing the blind people describing the elephant, you know? So I think it's messy. The government needs to put the act together on this. We can't continue to have this kind of scandalous presentation on projects and programs. We had enough of that already, speaking of buses, speaking of yellow machines, right? The people around the president who's finalizing this thing for the president to get involved in it ought to start doing better job. It's embarrassing. We can't continue like this. The president just happened to be someone that people look up to and love. Otherwise, these are enough reasons people to start saying things that they don't want to say, that they shouldn't be saying. So we just look forward to government. My advice to the government would be to put your act together, coordinate your information, and call a special committee to lay this matter to rest. And I just feel sorry that the government has been brought in such public ridicule on this matter. And the foreign minister name is in there. The president now, you're mentioning his name as well. The government officials and all of that. But I think we together play a part in making sure that the country is protected. Sometimes we may not like what we say. People may not like what you are saying, what you're doing. But in the ultimate end, it's in the good of the country. And I think all well-meaning Liberians will appreciate critical analysis, in-depth critical analysis that you provide. So nobody should see me like I'm blindly supporting anything that, no. I stand with exactly what you stand with. I stand for transparency, accountability. I stand for the right things being done. That's the only thing I can defend publicly. Otherwise, I'll look like a fool. And so I'm not prepared to be made a fool at any point in time of my life. So I always speak truth to the issue. I speak my mind. But I just let it call a spade a spade. Sometimes it may look like a dog, but it's not a dog. Sometimes we need to have a closer look.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Before Kev comment, I'd just like to say, maybe we'll do that at our post-analysis. I'm confused with Mame's statement. Necotech is not a scam, but everything about them is a scam. So we're just going to wait. When the senator leaves, then we can really dive into that. Necotech, the lady came on like the queen of Egypt or Sheba. Everything she said, it was a scam. Everything Sarah sold, scam. Everything Geraldine Pierre sold, scam. But the name Necotech, Mama says it's not a scam. You know, like bro with Josh. But let's proceed with our question to the ambassador, Kev Hassan.
Sometimes one of the things that baffles me when I listen to, to the campaign messages during the election, accountability, fight corruption, the past government lie, did this, did that. And you get the chief surrogate, which is Mame, chief surrogate. Talking about Necotech, you talk about everything. Like you said, Stanton, everything. It's a scam. Well, he says it's not a scam. This man is putting a
No,
lipstick.
he said the name. The name Nicotech gets kept in it.
Why you
The
attacking
name-
Mame?
yeah.
Well, Mame, ask a question. We get it. We get it, Kev. So we'll
What
do
you
that
attacking
after.
Mame for? Why
We'll
you
do that
defend
after.
him?
Please ask your question, Kev.
I'll
We'll do
defend
that.
Mame. Yeah, absent. I'll be defending Mame.
Leave me, man. Leave me, man. What he's saying is, we know what he's saying. He putting a lipstick on a pig. We put a lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig, mommy.
Yeah, let's address that. Please.
It's still a pig. With all we know now, Ambassador, my first question to you, with everything we know now, right? Do you think Sarah Beslow should resign? With everything we know in the interest, because you guys campaign on transparency, corruption. The past government was so bad; they were doing the worst and everything, bringing criminals. You was out there, Senator. You was out there. You were bombastic. I want you to that same energy you had then, because I believe you in 9 months you change it. Does Sarah need to resign, or it's a different time now and say what happened before was we are government, now it's my government. I will shield my own criminal. Should Sarah resign?
Well, I don't think so. And let me tell you why.
Why?
You said we campaign on transparency and all of that. The minister, the government presented this thing. There were issues raised. Spoon raised these issues. They called the necotech to come into the country to have public hearing with journalists, with interested parties, to have a discussion on it. That's transparency. I think if someone has something to hide, they will not be telling the people go themselves. And someone said the minister wasn't even at the program. No, I think she did well to not go to the program, because her presence may have been an intimidating posture. Some people think, no, she said, look, you guys have issue with this program. Yes, the necotech people here, grill them. We have nothing to hide on this matter. So is it a bad judgment? Is it a misguided judgment? Was she misled, or was she properly informed? I mean, it's different from corruption. You can't prove anything about corruption here. I don't think we should just loosely use these words on people who are our leaders in this regard. I think if she brought this program and probably thought very well, and I heard all of you say she probably meant well, you know her, she's a good woman, she means well, but she was misled. Then I hear about issues about...
Senator, let me hold you there. Senator, I beg you, my brother, let me hold you there. You're telling me the foreign minister of the country did not do a due diligence, and you're telling us that she was misled? That's what you're saying, a foreign minister. We're talking about somebody in the absence of the president will represent the country abroad. The foreign minister, you're telling me she was misled? That's what you want us to do? She a good woman? It's like you telling me my doctor is good but amputates the wrong leg. I should okay with my doctor?
No,
that's what you're saying? So
no,
what are you saying? What are you saying, sir?
What I'm saying to you, the foreign minister, the government, whoever is in front of this, have presented a package that they deem good enough for the country. If Spoon and other critical minds have punctured this program and have started to expose things, then there are 3-4 possibilities. Like, for example, when I listen to all of your analysis, I have grown to the conclusion that this is not something illegal. There's a lot of smart people who thinking they can put things together, get documents signed from government, and go and start raising money, and it's good. Anybody could do that. You're just giving evidence of someone, a Liberian, who's doing that, and who Kev or somebody has said this person needed to be more empowered. These things happen. These people play middleman role. So there's nothing illegal about it. Now,
the dean of the cabinet. The dean of the cabinet.
That's what I don't like. You ask me the question.
Yeah, give me a chance. Let me answer, please.
I mean, I could take that during campaign time, but we finish with campaign now, right, Kev?
you know, I agree with you.
So as I was saying,
answer, please.
The minister or the government, whoever is in front of this, have presented something to the country and to the people that they were knocking the chest. I'm so proud of. Now, if this is not as beautiful as they thought it was, And people who have made it a business to delve into this, like your Martin Colley and all of your other critical minds, like the Spoon and your panelists' critical opinion, and you started to tear it out, you are exposing a lot of information that a lot of people didn't know about. So this was what I'm saying. You are not an enemy here. You are a partner in progress. And so maybe the minister is being informed about things that she was not probably informed about now. Maybe government is having more exposure. Maybe they probably did. There's a lot of maybes around this. And the only conclusion that can be drawn is when the government, after all of this information being received, go back to the drawing table, look at this thing, and they come back to the people of this country and say, everything you said is all misstatements. This is the truth, and this is why it is. People shouldn't politicize this. Then we will know. But right now, to tell the woman to resign, what? For bringing in a program to the country that she thought was good after vetting it. Necotech, do they arrange scholarship for people? Yes. Do they go to the school, get this one, and get commission in between that? Yes. Is this something that they brought to the woman and she convinced her and it made sense to her? Yes. Now, the information coming out bits and pieces, are they scanty and scary because they're not being supportive of each other? They're not in line? They're not synchronized? Yes. Whose fault is that? It's the packaging of this thing. And that's sometimes when you package a good product, you mess it up. So I think the government has enough. They have heard enough of this. It's time now to set up a vetting committee internally again with all that has been exposed and see what will come forth. Until then, I will tell the minister.
Okay, let me go to my second. Let me go to my second question, Senator. You know, I just realized you don't have the courage to call or to resign, because let me say this: when Donald Trump was almost assassinated, the chief of the intelligence division resigned because it was an error from her pack. She resigned, and that's what a good government do. But let me say, one of the things that caught my eye. You're saying that most of the things that the president is hearing is from the fourth estate, for Spoon. I'm sitting here wondering, this is a president of the nation with over 40 years experience. Over 40 years experience. And you, a close person to the president, an inner circle of this government, speak to the president, telling me the president get his information from the fourth estate. My question to you, is the president in charge?
Okay, Kev, I don't know how you always see things from this distorted perspective. But let me help you.
That's your word. You say from the fourth estate.
Allow me
that's your word. You said it.
So, Kev, you allow the ambassador to answer your question, please.
You always twist these things to serve some other, objective that is always suspicious. But what we're saying is plain and simple English. I'm saying you are called the fourth estate for a reason. You are the watchdog of society. You are the eyes, the ears, the mouth of society. Governments, leaders, public, everyone. We have information from the fourth estate, especially the independent media. So the president, the government, like everyone else, like every institution on earth, like every government on earth, we do get information from the media. Does that suggest in any way that the president doesn't have his own internal mechanism to assert, to abstract information, process it, and come up with decision making? No. To even suggest that I'm saying that is, for lack of a better word.
You said that, sir. You said that. You said that. But so can you tell us why the information?
The president will get information from the media. Okay, that doesn't suggest that he doesn't have his own.
We got to move on. Tell me what kind of information you get from the media? Can you tell me what kind of information?
Yes, I can tell you what kind of information you get.
You can ask other questions. We got to move on. No, Kev, we got to move on. You know, we shouldn't get into that. Something. The ambassador, let me just remind you, because I went back, you can go back on YouTube to rewind, like we used to do, but you two get as peeps. The ambassador said, so the fourth estate also help with the information, and the information will rather also help the government. Okay, everything we say here, indeed, the president listen, the ministers listen, and senator listen. So I just want us to move on because we got a lot to cover with limited time. Abdullah Ketamba, can you come in? It's just a general conversation now, Abdullah, please.
Sure. No, first of all, I'll frame the issue and I'll ask for your response. I think something went wrong with the necotech stuff. Obviously, it became a mess. And my recommendation would be stop the entire process, review the process, take responsibility for what happened, find a solution. But I think Foreign Minister Beslow meant well. She's an exceptionally important president who loves Liberia. She wants to do well for her country. She got too excited for an information that was not processed well. She was misled, and she too did not vet the information. But I think she meant well. She wanted to help. She saw a deadline by January of students going to graduate school. But the lady from Ghana, I can tell you, Marseille, Anna, okay, I'll be careful before people think I'm trying to hit somebody personally. But that woman, I'll be careful with the word, but she's something that way. I don't want to use word that people attack her. She play, these people are skilled. I've seen different things where somebody into my dad and said there was a scholarship, a British scholarship. My dad was selling this to our uncle. Does not mean my dad was selling a scam. The foreign minister was not engaging in scam. What she was doing, she was excited about information. She was sharing the information without vetting the information. That she must take responsibility. And I think that's why
that's what you're trying, but you can't make it. Love your eyes.
Come in. The second thing, the president of Liberia, JMB did wonderful for the fact that our president was excited for an opportunity for the country. I felt proud of him as a president. He wanted to do something. Like we say, he had love in the eye. He wanted to fix things, but certain things went wrong. So I can say this purposely. Both President Boakai and Nyanti are wonderful people. They want to invest in education. They should clean the mess. Listen to me. Please stop. They should clean the mess. They should solve this problem. And I think they should apologize to the students. They should fix it. They should fix this. But I don't think they are bad people. Sarah Beslow Nyambi is exceptional. She means well. She leads Liberia globally to represent our flag. President Baka means well for education. When I saw, look, I could see their passion. They want to help, but they were misled. They were misled. In like a virus, they were.
Can I ask you a question? It's when you interrupted me. You interrupted. But you asked me a question when you were speaking.
Give me a chance.
I'm not cutting you off. Except you. Just do this. Ketema, do this. I'm not entertaining your question. Tell me you don't want me to. Give me 10 seconds.
Give me a chance.
But give me 10 seconds.
Relax yourself.
You did it to Mama. Give me 10 seconds.
Relax yourself. You know, but man, you follow.
The man know where you're going. The man know where you're going.
There's something that inside today. Praise President Bakai and praise Sarah Beslow. I'll praise both of them. You and Kev, y'all can go hug the transformer. Honorable Balu. That's my question to you. Do you agree with me? That's my question to you.
Thank you, Ketema.
Do I agree with you about what now? Because you were interrupted, so I didn't get it clear.
You see,
the senator said, "Don't put me in your team." Yeah.
So I'm trying to tell you, Honorable Barlow, I'm trying to say.
The thing you said about the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Exceptional. She means well. She was misled.
Yeah. Okay, let me answer you. Let me answer you.
President Boakai, law for education.
I can answer you now.
Embrace the idea. President Boakai was not misled. People say he's a child. No, he was happy.
But he said he want to answer now, Ketema.
You agree to me. And my question to you.
Look, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you.
When you have people bringing forth opportunity that will build the capacity of the young people is because of the passion and that they have to try to intervene in this sector. Now, again, I would just like us to be mindful of what we're discussing and how we condemn some of these programs. These people, what they presented to us, what we have before us, this is a government that probably just went through all of these documents satisfied before they brought it to the public. What did they give to them? And again, I'm not speaking with absolute knowledge on this matter, but like every one of us here, I will have my own input based on the limited knowledge that I have. This is a program that said, look, we can guarantee placement in school. The kids will pay some minimum amount. They will go, it's going to cost this much. Government is going to have a loan that can do this. That loan is separate completely from this necotech arrangement. It's just going to be a program aside to subsidize, to support this necotech arrangement. These are packages that can, and everyone coming to the table, you see financials say we can provide a loan. You see people say, yeah, we can do this. It's a whole network of actors in furtherance of the one objective. Now, if you put all of this beautiful thing together and come before us to the table, is this something that we want to invest in? Is something else? Okay? This is what the Liberian people will discuss. This is what is being discussed. The marketing, like Mabe said, has been badly presented. Too many conflicting information. This lady was brought into the country demonstrating the free will, the freedom, the transparency of the president, the government, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Grill this lady, abstract all the information. With all of that said, we still have this document before us and we will go through it for whatever it is worth. I'm just saying, let us agree that the packaging, the presentation has been messy, and government must own on to this responsibility.
Yes.
There has to be a more coordinated, more concerted approach in presenting such critical things to the public. And when it's being played around like this, government needs to retreat, re-examine itself, their strategy, their approach, their package itself, and get back to the people. Take the full responsibility of what's before them and present it in a more agreeable way that people can understand. So I do agree with you that there's a lot of good intentions here. Who go and look for scholarship for students, except people who cares about the young people? And that's commendable for them already.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you. But I would say go back. I would say go back to my brother. I would say go back to my brother. I would say go back to my brother Ketema. Everybody in Liberia means well when it comes to education, whether in position or out of position. We can announce today, it means well a lot that the University of Liberia will not be opening as promised November 18th. It means well a lot that budget that should be allocated to the education department was cut under 50% for 2024. It means well a lot. That's why you see the whole campus everywhere. It's in total darkness with no infrastructure, no internet, nothing. And for this year, the first year under President Joseph Yima Bwaka, all the students will have to stay home and pray to God when the next term they can ever walk on a campus again. This is an embarrassment. The president means well. The foreign minister means well. But guess what? Do you know the foreign minister relationship with this lady, Ketema? Have you asked her how was she involved into this necotech scam? If not, I will tell you. I hope we have the time for me to help you. You in Liberia, I pray that you reach out to Madam Sarah Besto and ask her how she got involved with this scam. Okay, exactly. So I would disagree with you. I understand that to each his own, Ambassador. But Madam Sarah and this lady have a personal relationship, a personal friendship. The lady never came out of the blue to say, I bring a necotech to Liberia. Let's stop this game. And let's stop this because Liberia deserves better. This program was a one-man initiative that was sold to the Liberian people.
Ask question now. You're taking my time.
You see, there's a reason why. There's a reason why. There's a reason why Abdullah. So, but we're gonna leave the necotech issue. We have said enough about it. We just ask Clinton to brush off if you have any, because we have other domestic issue that we have to talk about, and we have to talk about. Yes, Captain Mike. Indeed, you got your last question. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Sure, Honorable Balu. Honorable Balu, let Tosso and Tosso. You think the government should take responsibility and actually make some open apology to the public?
Thank you.
And say, look, we made some blunder. We take responsibility. And when should we expect that? You think President Bata would do that?
Great question.
You think he would do that?
Absolutely. I think the government should, take full responsibility for the messy way this was presented to the public. Okay. I'm not at the point when I call it a scam and I start to, denigrate people. I do know for all obvious reasons that it has been badly presented to the public. A lot of mess. Government needs to take a full responsibility and let it be presented properly so that we can understand what is going on exactly. When you hear people say that the Minister of Education is nowhere involved in this, I doubt it. If that's the case, then it shouldn't be the case. If I hear people talking about, the discussion with the American embassy and this and that, people say American embassy, that's too much of hearsay and they say going around this thing. Okay? So I'm just saying there has to be, this is government. We need to present it in very, very clear terms what the people are. So I do agree. Take full responsibility and correct it.
You are quite correct. Thank you very much. We will leave the necotech conversation. Mr. Balu, while we bring in Clinton, your taste that this year, the University of Liberia students, they are not going back on our campus. They put us this letter today, and I would like to bring Clinton in on this one. Folks that attended the university, they are now saying, hey, listen, no money, and we were scheduled to open November 18th, but we are not going to open again. The next opening date to be determined. How shocking this is for you, Ambassador?
I will say this, Stanton. For as far back as I can remember being in public service, I've never been satisfied with the way we've been treating education. I think the University of Liberia still looks like a war-torn environment. Okay, it doesn't look like a university. It is right next to the Capitol building, right next to the mansion, Capitol Hill. There's a reason why it is planted on Capitol Hill. We have not taken education seriously in the past, and I hope President Bouaka will break from that tradition and make a marked difference. That university should be beaming with lights, should be fully renovated. The classroom should look like classroom. The environment should be conducive and inspiring. Other than that, nobody should claim of doing anything with education. We were talking about the University of Liberia right on Capitol Hill with good number of the lawmakers crossing the road, going to class in a deplorable condition, going back to their place, living in their large lives. This is unfair. I had an opportunity to speak very briefly with the education minister. We met in the mansion somewhere. We had a little side conversation because my own passion and interest in education. And I, told her, look, every time I confirm or I had some confirmation hearing, I don't go look at the minister's CV. I go and ask them, what can you make this institution into? What can you grow it into? What can you develop it into? I'm not yet asking you to manage it with the meager resources. Forget about what you tell me, what you can grow it into. Tell us what we need to help you. So she complained about the budget. I told her, look, present a comprehensive package to the government. Let that burden be shifted to the government to look for the money. Don't go managing because of limited resources. Education is not one of those areas that we can play with. The longer we decide, the longer the time we take to decide on how we do with education, the longer we stall the growth of this country. So education, no, I'm not satisfied with it here, but this thing with the university, I'm not satisfied with it. The budget process, no, I'm not satisfied to hear the kind of noise coming from the Capitol building, the kind of money going left and right. I'm not satisfied with that.
And not to interrupt you, Senator, we had the long posting that in history, this is the first time that the education ministry be awarded 119 million. I think that's the amount you call. It's on his page. But that which was allocated to them, way less than 40% for the entire country. How can you boast that I will give you this amount, but you have not given the amount, but you boasting that you did a good job? The year is about to end. UL is now opening. Young men and women, we have to be hustling, selling to Kafle, nowhere to go, and you worry about where people are protesting and demonstrating on the street because you have deprived them of higher education. So I don't know when you were senator, what did you do differently that our country is looking in total mess right now when we talk about education. And it's so bad that everybody should hear this. The very first year of JMB government, nobody attending the University of Liberia. How dangerous it is moving forward, Ambassador?
What is more embarrassing than dangerous at this point? And I think the president, the government, you have a perfect opportunity to break away from the tradition of neglect of the university, tradition of neglect of the education sector. I think we have that opportunity. There are a lot of other areas we can cut down on. Public spending, cut down on it. And take just affirmative action and invest in education. So I'll just call on the government to make sure that this thing doesn't drag into the second year, and this thing should be tackled head on. University education, the high school, the education of this country is not for politicking. It's a serious matter. All of us should be concerned about it. And I'm not satisfied if you should ask me. No, I'm by far not satisfied. Not just with what's happening now, but what has been forever in the past of our country, for as far back as I can remember since I've been in government.
Thank you, Clinton. And for now, we will wrap up with the senator and do our crossfire. Clinton? We're not hearing you, Clinton. Can you unmute?
Yeah, unmute. Are we done with necotech?
Well, I'm done. We just got to wrap it up for the senator to go.
Right, but I mean, with the University of Liberia, I couldn't read the letter, but if the issue is the U.S. not going to be opening a schedule because of funding, then that's a serious, very, very serious issue. I think that something has to be done about it.
The letter didn't say funding. Just to correct you, the letter didn't say funding.
I'm sending him the letter.
I just said, Mommy, I didn't read the letter, and I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm just correcting you because I read the letter.
Right. So I don't know.
I sent a letter, Senator Balu. I sent a letter to you because I got your number.
I don't know what issue, but there shouldn't be.
Sorry, text me. Let me send a letter to you. Mommy get the first page of the letter. He doesn't have the second, and that's why I got about the traffic right now. Go ahead, Clinton, talk to us.
Whatever the issue is, there's absolutely no reason. It's unacceptable that
is it opening? Mama, is it opening? Is the university opening?
Opening
a schedule?
No,
is it opening a schedule?
No, not a schedule.
Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead, Clinton.
Yeah, where's the reason? Where's the reason it's happening?
No, let Clinton speak. Let Clinton bring this to you.
Right. So I don't even know why it's not open, but I'm saying there's no reason it should not open. You cannot have.
They say they get money.
The University of Liberia doesn't have money. What happened to what was a push in the budget? They didn't. It hasn't been.
They didn't get it.
They didn't get it.
They didn't get it. They didn't get it.
Well, that's a serious problem, and it's very embarrassing for this government. Again, this government ran on a platform of having the most experienced people to deliver. So they should deliver. And I know when I listen to a lot of the Unity Party surrogates, including Mame just now when he was talking about the Nascop thing, he went to this was under the George Weah administration. What about Nascop? When requests are made in Nascop, they don't ask George Weah. Nascop is Nascop is an entity that is run by the board of directors. They don't go ask the president. It's an independent, autonomous agency or whatever they call it. They don't go ask Marshall.
You said it. You said it. The government, man.
So when you try to drag it under like this, no, these people have a board of directors and they operate.
Okay.
So even if we were to accept, right, that they approve it, that doesn't even make it right. That doesn't even make it right. That Grisby then accepted the car and they're running around. They have clear policies in place. NASCAR, I read the whole NASCAR. I don't see anywhere in the NASCAR where they said they are supposed to be buying any kind of vehicles for for any agency of government. So that doesn't go true. So again, these people campaigned that we had an inexperienced president, we had an inexperienced government, and they had the solutions in Liberia. And in the last 9 months, I said last time I was on the show, it's been a disaster. Something has to change. I don't care how you try to sugarcoat it. And I know saying we finished with the necotech thing, but just think about it. If we're agreeing that that the president was misled, that the Minister of Foreign Affairs was misled, that's a serious problem. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is the one who represents the government, who represents the country, who has to deal with major international issues. And if she's going to be misled on something as simple as this policy and took it to the president, I spent some time in the Ministry of State. Where is the Minister of State who should coordinate the government, who all the requests go to? How does he take the president to a program to announce all these things with all them doing any kind of check? Nobody check it.
Where you go? Oh, man.
Thank you, Craig. Let's give the ambassador.
No, so stay down.
Let's give the ambassador. Guys, the ambassador got to go. Let's give the ambassador the last word.
I want to chime in for a minute. The ambassador wouldn't mind. The ambassador wouldn't mind. The ambassador wouldn't mind. He's a good man. He's a very nice man.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, hold on a minute. Ketema, hold on a minute. So, Clinton, are you done?
Done. I'm done.
Thank you. So we're going to give Ketema the last word. Ambassador, we give us his closing. It's always good having you, Ambassador. It's always good having you, Ambassador John Balu. Please, again, I hope you enjoy yourself on the show, and you're always welcome to come back. But yeah, Ketema, go and you can have the last word, sir.
So I want to beat a dead house. Corporate social responsibility fund is a fund by any corporations to release. So I want to be clear. I want to understand when my distinguished and erudite brother Cameron Clinton say they're not supposed to back out. Nobody says social corporate sponsors are supposed to back out, but you can release it for good cause.
That wasn't a social corporate fund.
Hey, man.
That wasn't a social corporate fund. Let Ambassador go, then we can have an argument.
But sit down.
Don't do this.
You want dominated discussion until your agenda is achieved.
No. Let Ambassador go.
No.
Let Ambassador
go. No. You have an agenda. You have an agenda to achieve tonight. My goal is to make sure I dissect that agenda into pieces so the people have
that's not good, man.
Propaganda to fly tonight. We will dismantle and polarize our propaganda.
Ambassador, please come on. It's always good having you, Ambassador. Please. Thank you very much for being part of the program tonight.
So let's recap some of the important topics we've covered today. Let's go back to the Grisby thing. Again, put yourself in his position. You have guests coming in the country. You're short on cash. You're a lot of logistics. The time is ticking. Deadlines approaching. And then you act as a manager in this area to provide solution to a problem that was prevailing. And he proceeded to engage a sector of the government that they were going to inherit, and later on afterwards say that we're going to put the money back understanding that these are all contributions of people's retirement. So yes, was it the most appropriate thing to do? No, but sometimes the most appropriate thing become necessary under certain circumstances. So is that corruption? It's only corruption if those vehicles are not available and if he pocketed the money or abuses to his personal benefit. Can we prove here that those vehicles are not available or that he pocketed into his personal benefit? I don't think anyone can do that on this show. I think we are all speaking, speculating, and I don't blame you for this prevailing for so long because the government should have been on the ground to clarify these things, provide these things, and lay the matter to rest by showing these vehicles where they are instead of letting the public think that these vehicles have disappeared and people have stolen them, which is not possible. Okay. Now, before I forget, let's come to the last one at the university closing and that they will not be reopening. Yes, you link this question to the overall appreciation of education in the country, and I'm still not satisfied with the education. None of us are satisfied. Actually, the president himself is not satisfied. Yes, matching our desire with our ability to meet those expectations and desires are two different things. So we are faced with that dilemma. But nevertheless, the way you presented it, and I'm glad that Mame even sent me that communication, it's only confirmed what I was hoping that the government would do. This communication is saying that they are closed for renovation. Renovation for what? To create the environment, the enabling environment, a conducive learning environment at the university, the classrooms, the sanitary conditions of the university, the toilets, the technological arrangements, the Wi-Fi, the internet, making sure these things are available, and all of the infrastructural arrangement and renovation. Commendable. So on this note, why the story were turning against the government? They've already, like I said, break away from the tradition of neglect of the university. They have already broken away from the tradition today. But the very communication that you've spoken of, it's unfair that we will only speak of the closure and not put a reason why it is being closed. So there's a closure for renovation.
Thank you, Ambassador. I know you're doing your closing. Let me correct you in the letter. Okay. I'm going to read the third paragraph and the second paragraph and the second sentence. It says that planning for the name everything, and it said the internet facility in June 2024. This process has taken time to secure the necessary funding. Ambassador, when we come on the show, we love to speak truth to power. It's about funding, but you do not expect the administration of UL to say we didn't get the money, so we cannot open the school. So when our sources who sent us this document inform us, anyone, the president, vice president, any one of them say we ask the government for money, they get our money, that person will be gone. And now these are some of the reasons Mafia is not there today. We discussed that on the show. So for my brother Mame to act like he didn't see it, and he said, no, it's not about funding. It's about them rebuilding bathroom since June, toilet since June. They saw all those things, Ambassador, and they scheduled that the university will be open on the 18th of November. But today it's not fixed.
Where are you reading from?
So I read from the same document I sent to you, my brother. Ambassador John Badu, please finish up. I hope you can read the whole letter holistically and make information.
Exactly, that would be the best.
Right there. It's right there, and I want to cut it and put it up. Ambassador, please go ahead.
Okay, so since I've answered this, and let me just go through that they've delayed because of the funding. Now they are proceeding with the renovation. The renovation includes classroom with improved conditions, upgraded bathroom, enhanced sanitation facilities, library and improved facilities, improved internet connectivity and Wi-Fi coverage, other reforms to enhance your overall university experience, improve transportation to Fender and St. J campuses. This is commendable. And so I want to take this time to thank President Boakai for breaking away from that tradition and thanking them for that. This is only the first step. There are a lot of more things to do to the education. University of Liberia, yes, it's the premier state-run university, but the education center goes beyond the University of Liberia, goes to elementary, to the high school, goes to the vocational technical. We need to invest in that just as you are doing University of Liberia. So I will commend them for that. Next thing we talk about this necotech, and everyone keeps saying the government was misled. And I'm saying to you, whatever information that they have received and presented was information that they have vetted and were satisfied with, and they brought it to the public. No one knows it all. That's why you have the fourth estate. That's why you have you. That's why it's not just the CEO. You have a lot of your other panelists who are very much informed and technically inclined, very educated and experienced people, and the rest of the media in this country. You all are there for a reason, for a purpose, to help expose things that others may not have seen. Now, for whatever they're worth, the information provided, I can assure you, like every other Liberian, these will be taken into consideration and we'll know whether they were truths or lies. Next thing, and I'm sorry we didn't draw this into the picture. This is what I have been very passionate about in recent times, about what's transparent, what's going on at the legislature, and the role of the public vis-a-vis the saga there. I'm saying to you, if we don't take anything seriously, we should make this a paramount concern to look at what's happening at the legislature and directly link it to the backwardness of this country. This legislature, especially the House of Representatives at this point in time, has proven to be a source of corruption, neglect, and abuse of public trust. We have seen the accusations going left and right. Today, people are concerned about removing the speaker. That's their right. And I've never spoken about the way they are proceeding. But tonight, I might be bold enough to say, to move the speaker, everyone has the right to move the speaker if they want to. The Constitution speaks to how you move the speaker. We should be law-abiding in this country. If it's required 2/3, we should stick to that constitutional provision and uphold it, because what goes around comes around. We play with the law.
You change your position on the issue small.
Sorry?
I said you change your position on the issue small.
No, I never changed my position.
Okay.
My position has always been, I wasn't paying as much attention to the internal wrangling. I was paying more attention to what the Liberian people should be concerned about. The kind of a revelation of unimaginable corruption. That institution should be audited, a complete forensic audit. No system audit. No other audit will suffice. We need to have a full-blown forensic audit. The accusations that the majority bloc has levied against the speaker and his colleagues are outrageous. What the speaker and his colleagues have levied against the majority bloc, those allegations are equally outrageous. The Liberian people are the #1 losers in this battle. And we are not speaking about it. We are taking sides on the speaker's side, on the other side, majority bloc, we're throwing blows, we're insulting each other, social media, we're taking grounds. You are clearly dealing with people who have exposed to you that they have been stealing from you. I didn't say so, they said it. If we don't investigate these people, nobody should blame anybody for the backwardness of Liberia, because we are so, for lack of a better word, not conscious about what we want, that we'll kill ourselves out of ignorance. This legislature, from now on, we need to take steps to ensure that they be audited every year. Since I've known the legislature, they've never been audited. We are auditing other people. We have judging other people and calling people criminals and this, and you can't audit the legislature? You don't have any moral standing if you can lead by example. We have to hold the legislature accountable. That's my position, Katama. I never changed that. What I'm now adding is that, because some people say, but Senator, we agree, but you also have to speak to the legality of the issue. And I am going to speak to the legality of the issue. As far as I'm concerned, from what I heard from the speaker, from what I heard from the majority bloc, there are no hero in the show. There are two bad people in the show, no hero in the show. You understand me? So I don't have any reason to stand with the speaker for any other reason except for the right thing. The Constitution says 2/3. You go to your session, you put forth your petition, you ask the speaker to recuse himself while investigation is going on, and you proceed with your attempt to remove him. Anything other than that is contrary to what the Constitution provides for and what our democracy can tolerate. We do have a very fragile democracy. We shouldn't stretch it to the limit. That's what I have to say on this matter. And let me say this, even if they don't have the 49 votes as required, let them know that with a full-blown forensic audit of the legislature, what the accusations are levied against the speaker, if he found guilty, he will step down, not as an impeachment, or not as a rejection from them, but as a result of the rule of law, the result of the audit that will disrobe him of the speakership. And if they are found guilty, they too will be disrobed of the role as a lawmaker because they're found guilty of corruption. We shouldn't play with this. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I know you have very critical minds. I will have to say that you are probably the most widely listened to and followed media in the country. I am very grateful for the role you're playing. I remain very supportive, and I will always cherish your institution. I will advise the government, like the one that was before and now and also in the future, the media will stretch you to the limits, but nobody should attempt to clamp down on this media to close it, because without it, we'll all be in the dark. So I just want to thank you for this opportunity, and please use this opportunity to maintain your integrity, credibility, and neutrality, because sometimes you find it swaying and then you get it back together. On this note, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I'm sorry we couldn't get to that, but real quick, I know you have done your closing. We are praying to leave. Majority of the group that want to speak up, they are Unity Party representative. Most of them from the Unity Party. You're a Unity Party man. Are you telling them to stand down and stand by? Are you telling them to reconsider? Are you telling them to reconsider? Because again, if they say, listen, we in this together to support Unity Party and the president agenda, and you criticizing their move to say, listen, this is wrong, what's your message to them directly? I know you have done your closing, and the president is not speaking directly to them. Either tell them, say, go ahead, or don't go ahead. We are hearing that the budget will be sent to the majority black. What's your message to the president here? You served in the legislature before. What's your message to the president and then the Unity Party lawmakers that are in this fight?
Well, I can tell them who they should maintain as speaker or who they should remove. That's their prerogative. Only thing we can hold them accountable for is to do it according to the Constitution. And the best way to do it is to go in your session, write your communication, have it read on the floor, and action taken in that regard. Part of the process, the speaker will have to recuse himself, and this investigation will have to go on. And that's their investigation, whether they want a speaker or not. I'm asking the president to ensure that the legislature is audited. Our investigation, our audit, different from what they will be doing. Those people are going to do their own thing after it's going to be covered down. No, it should never be covered down. If this legislature is not audited, then there are not men and women in this country. I can assure you. Then there are not men and women in this country. There is no opposition. There is no there's no leadership in our country. There's no way that this can be swept under the carpet. There is no senator, there is no representative, there is no social media, there is no journalist, there is nothing, there is no council of churches. There's no leadership in this country. If we do not audit the legislature after what we have heard from their own mouths, these people have destroyed the integrity and credibility of the state and eroded the confidence of the citizenry. We can't play with this any longer. So on this note, the speaker remains the speaker until he's removed. And we should be law-abiding in doing this because we set precedents. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. It's good to have you.
The
He gotta go.
Senate were audited. The audit report is available. They've taken no action on the findings in the audit. It speaks to violation of procurement regulations, awarding of contracts with all documents, spending over half of their budget outside of the budget process, and a lot of procurement violation. The report is available. No action has been taken from the Senate. Just to tell you that.
And so, just to re-emphasize what you're saying, we are talking about people who are accusing the speaker of spending excess of $7 million that was not his to begin with. How possible is that? How possible is that? You heard the speaker accuse the lawmaker of inflating the budget and going back to the ministers and dividing the spoils of that. How possible can we sit down and let that happen? They should claim the attention of the government to begin with, and we should proceed with it. That the speaker is saying that his colleagues are extorting money and harassing the businesses. Do you know what that means to the credibility of this country, the standing in dealing with investors and investment in this country? It cannot be swept under the carpet. They have pronounced it. We will seize it. We should never let them put it back into the closet. It has come out. We didn't take it out. Nobody used juju to take it out. They confess with their own mouths. The speaker is saying that these guys are requesting money from the executive to pass bills. Members of the speaker are saying bribery is taking place, that each of those people in the majority bloc are receiving $25,000 to remove the speaker. They are calling names. We can't leave this and play deaf on this thing. No, it can't be. They are now camping at the hotel there. Going to 2 months? What's going on in this country? We don't have money for the children to go to school. We don't have jobs for the people. DA, I'm so passionate about fighting drugs in this country. They can't even be funded the same way. The drugs still remain a serious problem that we're dealing with. Yes, a little bit effort has been applied. Is that enough compared to what we're looking at in the legislature? I challenge this country to stand up, whether you are from the media, from the political side, from the civil society, from the religious background. If we don't investigate and audit the legislature and make sure that they are audited every year, we have failed the children of this country.
Thank you.
Ambassador Badut, thank you very much. Again, you know I have your number, Ambassador. It's always good having you. Before you leave that hot seat, I love to get into fight with my brother Ketema and Mame, but I don't want you to get involved. I just want to show you this real quick. When I speak to the issue of the University of Liberia that no money, that's why they are not opening the rest of that story that they will face battle here and there. You know that cover up. I'm about to send this. These were their communication made. All right. That all arrears and current salary of part-time faculty must be settled without any precondition. These are because of money. They cannot open. Let me send it to Mambe and let Mambe forward it. I can forward it to you. I have your information, but I also like to send it to Mambe because Mambe coming here talking Saga. Saga me, Mambe talking everything, but it's not correct. So let me forward it to my brother Mambe. I want you to read the entire thing, and we excuse the ambassador. We don't want to get him in crossfire. Then we can discuss this. Ambassador, it's good having you, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thanks to all
You're
of you.
welcome. Yes, sir. Thank you. Good. So I put this in the one-on-one chat room. I will send this to Mami. Mami, can you send it to our brother Clinton also? The full information.
I just put my number in the chat over there.
You send your number to me, and you have my number. Send it to me.
I don't have yourself, but I put my number in the chat.
Okay. All right. Okay, I got it. Let me send it to you. Ketema, I put this whole document because when we say something to Mami said no, that not because of money. They both said that because of money. The letter said, Mami, can I finish? Brother, you want to interrupt me, sir?
No,
Mami,
I want to interrupt
you.
I want to get you here, bro.
Yeah, let's do that thing one at a time. Ketema, this is Crossfire. Listen, let's forget about necotech now because I believe in Liberian people believe they ain't going to put their money in there. All that thing about Sarah, that nice woman, Sarah that fell, that injured Mary, and you know, a relationship with that woman, a whole another story. I can tell you about this. She may not have the intent to collect money from this thing, but the idea that you are selling a brand on Sarah and say, yes, you will mislead, it means that she will be the misled. The president was misled, Kev Hassan, the country will burn down because they're all being misled. We don't need leaders that are misled quickly. We need leaders that will investigate. We need leaders that will dig deeper. Before you take my president to a program, cross all your T's and dot your I's. The president depends on you.
Have you seen any agreement between Liberia and necotech?
Now what? Ketema, as much as I love Sarah Best Loyalty, the president depends on Sarah. The decision she's going to make when it comes to passport, diplomatic passport here and there, crossing her I's and dotting her T, the decision she's going to make to bring in a foreign investors, a foreign national, whatever way you may call it. That whole damn thing is a scam.
But
I'm not accusing Sarah of getting money.
I said no.
Let me finish.
I want to agree on you on something.
No, I don't want you to agree with me. I don't want you to agree with me. Please don't agree with me. Yeah, man. Don't agree with me. I'm begging you. Yeah, you come when I agree with me. I tell you,
they may reject my agreement, but people are saying that.
But let me say this. I am not accusing Sarah of stealing anything. That's not why I'm on here. If you said she was misled, a lot of Liberians say, you know what, I son, I will use my 37 wisely. You are kicking the can down the road. I think I like the last thing you said, Ketema. Sarah should take responsibility of this thing. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to fail sometime. Take responsibility and get it right. But every other thing connected to that thing, look at that Queen of Sheba. She's going to meet King Solomon. Or she's going to meet the Equatorial.
You're not going to look at Lego. She's going
to meet Tono will fire you. Tono will fire you. That Kowa will stay on you. But guys, so I need that necotech thing. Let me get to my brother. No. Anybody want to close on necotech because we got to go to the other one? Correctly.
Let me say something.
Mommy, 1 second. Look, I think for me, they should squash that whole thing. I want that to you. They should squash it. Government take responsibility. Figure a way how to move forward. You know what I'm saying? What I see, if this is an experiment, the interest and passion education is high. Let the government initiate their own scholarship scheme with this university directly. Let the Liberian government call money, create a small committee, and then launch this thing. Let the government do this directly. Let them remove all the necotech, Nicobu, Nico-G. Let them take all the outside of the air. We don't need those people. We don't need them. But I think Sarah Beslo-Yanti means well. She was misled. She did not vet information well. But I believe she's a great leader and she will do wonderful. But this is the attempt to redeem themselves. Let them redeem themselves. Let the president say, look, we're squashing the team. We're not care for it. Let them go for a new program. Period.
But what are they? But Keteba, when Kula Fofana, and you come in, my brother, mommy, when Kula Fofana took the podium and said this thing is not a scam, they are going double into the argument that this is not a scam. So if Sarah can come out to speak and say we made a mistake, Jerolima Pierre that just received information from Sarah and ran with it, then our country is in trouble. And I would say to President Joseph Yeman Boaka, hell no way that whosoever dragged you to that program, that you give them a pass. They should be suspended because I believe in your suspension. Suspension means NTR, never to return.
I think it will be our greatest loss. Sarah Beslo-Yanti should not be suspended. Should never be suspended. I don't think it's an issue of suspension. It's an issue of course correction. They need to squash this thing, set up a committee review it. This woman is exceptional. This is investment, and she will not be suspended. I can tell you, I can guarantee President Baka will not suspend her. Your wish will not be fulfilled. Your wish will fail. She will remain in that position, and she will do great things for the country. I believe in her. We believe in the woman.
Kiatamba and CU are not calling on the president to suspend or dismiss or do anything to Sarah. The foreign minister. Let me not just call her Sarah, the foreign minister. I'm looking into the foreign minister's mind. I'm looking into the style of leadership she's exhibiting as the Minister of Foreign Affairs from this action. That's what I'm looking at. And that's what I want the president to look at. This is the dean of your cabinet. With all the resources available to her, with all the deputy ministers, some of the bright minds in our country, when you talk Ibrahim Yang, you talk about all the assistance she have. And this minister walks to the national platform and announce and provides misinformation to the country. I'm looking into the kind of leader she is. That's what necotech wants her. With all the resources she got, going to the national platform and misleading the country in this manner and form. I'm looking into the kind of leader she is. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs should not be a central figure in education-related issue. I'm looking into the kind of leader she is.
You're right.
The role is to identify these things and turn them over to the respective ministries and agencies to coordinate. The refusal to do so, I'm looking into the kind of leader she is. That is my point. It leveled the president.
Mame,
okay.
Mame, we're going to go to Kev, but I will say this. You're a bad man, Mame. You're a bad boy, like I always say. You tell the president to fire the woman. The rest of it, who you are. You tell the president to fire the woman. Kev, go ahead.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting you fire the woman.
Leave me alone.
Why you keep on writing my mouth?
I can't tell the president anything in level with me.
You may tell the president nothing.
Abdullah, I will say this. If Sarah failed to speak this week on this issue, she's guilty.
I agree.
I'm never saying any foreign minister that was said quietly. She projected this. She brought it in the country. Thousands of Liberians have contributed and paid the money. They need the money back. She's on video selling this. She must speak to this issue, or the president must get rid of her. She must say, you know what? These are our suggestions moving forward. We have come up with some comprehensive suggestions to help save Liberia. If she failed to do this, if she going double down on the issue that she did nothing wrong, she's now wafted to be the foreign minister. Kev Hassan.
No agreement.
Let's talk about this good intention they're talking about. Oh, you get good intention. Yeah, it's on Iboma. Wants to build the coastal highway. They have good intention. Wait, my man, I'm disturbing my man. Let me go. Yeah, they have good intention. But listen, Katamba, this woman, she worked at the UN. She came in with a lot of experience. You're telling me there's nobody around that you could check and do
I beg you. Okay, go ahead, Kev.
And do a due diligence to check and went to Mika and sell it. Not only 250, she sold 500 Liberian people, because she talked about in the space of a year, less than a year, 500 Liberians will be traveling. She said 500, 250 now. In September, 250 will follow. She went there. And you're telling me that the president will not look into the den of the cabinet. So you tell me that this woman will sign on, they will sign on diplomatic passport, people will get it and say it's a mistake. It's a very, very important position. She needs to resign.
And we get plenty of diplomatic passport. Hold on a minute. We get plenty of diplomatic passport under this government. Also there. Sarah got an answer for. Plenty. Diplomatic passport in people's hand, right? It's criminal. Wait. Not on a drug government. Mommy, you know what I know, mommy. Don't give me that look. It's terrible that under this government, whether that's Sylvester Graceful or Sarah Beslow giving people diplomatic passport, the government got to answer for it. And that's the worst one. Because these diplomatic passports have brought people in this country, America. People that are not supposed to have diplomatic passport, foreign national that do not. How can a Joseph Yima Boaka government fall into the diplomatic passport thing? I don't know what Ketema was saying. I mean, necotech is someone that like people money.
I'm opposed to it.
Yeah, but wait, before we go to Clinton Cat, Kelebu say he begging, he want to say something. Kelebu
say he wants to say something?
Yeah.
The station is for Liberia people. If Kelebu want to talk,
Clinton, go ahead. Clinton, go ahead. Clinton, I've not spoken. You're not talking, my man.
Let go ahead. Yeah. So, honestly, I do agree with a few things you said. I think they should come up this week. This week,
yeah.
This week, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I totally agree. And the only thing is, everything we said, I think, second, this program, it does not worth our attention. It should be squashed. It should be eradicated. We should get out of our face. We do not need necotech, meditech. We don't need all that stuff. Liberians can do this on their own. We do not need that company. We do not need it. We need to move forward. I think they made a mistake. They were excited about an idea. Look, even the U.S. government, CIA are misled. They take some operations and take responsibility.
Yeah, but whatever they misled,
let me finish, man. Kemaya misled. Kemaya misled. President, we have made a lot of mistakes. Kemaya misled. Why you ask for Kemaya to be fired? You are on their show.
Oh, no.
Don't do that.
Remember, Ketema, Kev is right. The man was misled and we fired them.
Yeah.
So nobody will find Joey. In fact, Joey
will fire
at 10-year position. If you appointed Joey at a 10-year position, you don't get fired.
My man, don't do that.
Cameroon cannot know about that. When Joey appointed you at 10-year position, you can't get fired until you die of it. So let me finish, man. Kev, I can hear myself.
I hear you, my man. Ketema talk.
No, I'm serious. No. So what I'm trying to say is that look, the biggest mistake I think of recovery. It told me something. That this president, this prime minister, this government, to some extent, have shown some leadership in trying to do this. They got it wrong this time. Let's be honest. They got it wrong. Let them fix it. Let them fix it. The first thing is to take responsibility. It's to squash that whole program. But these people who are leading, they meant well. They want to change things. They want to expand opportunities.
Yeah, that's what we did first. That's what we did.
Let me finish. So, suppress my right. Don't be a dictator here. Don't be.
But that's what we did for my man.
That's good too. Man, well for giving it.
Let me say this. I do agree. The second aspect is look on Balu performance. I think Balu did well. The only thing that choked him, and this should tell the government, they do not have the community said, they don't have something to celebrate about the president crackdown on corruption because it's not coming. It's not coming. They're looking for it. It's the bad place to be, Stento. You want to tout the accomplishment, but you don't know where to collect it. They're struggling to find, they want you, so at that point, they should tell them, we got to struggle in this area. They need to take it serious. They are struggling. And the fact that Balu will follow everything that the government, he keep promoting today. You are struggling, trying to do small things to pass the hole. You can't pass all of that. All the minute,
I agree with you because if the government can find out one little thing, right, to celebrate on, we'll sell it. But they just can't. Mr. Ambassador Balu cannot. But again, let's go back to the University of Liberia, Ketema. You in Monrovia, okay? You refuse to come to America. I don't know why you don't like America. But you in Monrovia. Yeah, my man, you don't. But here's the issue. Ketema, the university issue and money issue. Look at what they did to Matthew. Matthew thought they say the man broke internal protocol. Who there will come and talk and say, we want money and you get your money so without opening? That person will be gone, right, Ketema? The letter I put in the chat room, I'm reading the letter now. These are some of the things they're talking about. Yeah, it says you get the letter, Clinton. Ketema, you have it. That all arrears and current salary of part-time faculty must be settled without any precondition. What are they talking about? Not money? Not money? that all retroactive payment of staff member must be settled without any precondition. That rack they're talking about, that bathroom facing, that bathroom that been there all the time student may go to school. Oh, but mommy, that balancing puppy all of my mom, LBS will now be the same. Let me remind you on that one. All right? That all the disparities of staff be settled without further delay. Mommy, this is November 1st. It came out. That what thing? Mommy, you just got to stop pushing me. Because what I have in my arsenal, if you push me, I got to release it. That letter that you saw, I know you were going to carry, I'm going to hook you. Now I got you. I'm going to take you out of the water. Then people don't get money. The one that was allocated to them, they don't have it. Look at these conditions. These conditions are serious conditions. The universities of Liberia campus cannot be open because these conditions, the government are meeting up with the conditions, my man. Clinton, you want to talk before Mame coming?
Look, the whole thing here, it goes back to everything we said. Mame then said they had a solution to this thing here. You say you have a solution to this thing here. You can't just be passing around and trying to dribble on now with all, there's no reason why the university, if we had money for the University of Liberia that was in the budget, what happened to it? Why hasn't it been released to the people? These conditions I'm looking at, they're not so hard. Why can't the government meet them? There's no reason why. And then I know we're waiting for these people again, but I keep saying every time something that the job of the president chief of staff is an important one. And if he doesn't take charge, there's going to be a lot of problems. And that's what's happening. No one is coordinating the government. Everybody is all over the place. I read something today. Somebody say they were talking about Georgia, but this one look like pro max. It's more than pro max. Like everything you've condemned in the last 6 years, in the period of 9 months, you done them double. Everything that you condemned in the last 6 years, you've done that in just a short period of 9 months. You've done them double every month. The thing is becoming like a pattern. Like every other 2 weeks, there's something major. I was reading something on I saw 2 letters today circulated on Facebook. I think another drama starting at LBS. I think that one is the next the season.
So we're keeping that one for tomorrow. And because we do not have time. LBS. That's why you heard me say that LBS will now be the same.
No one is in charge.
So let me say something. After Gamade, when you don't let me know.
I'm done.
The fact is, yeah.
Mame, hold on 1 minute. I want to put this up because I know you come to talk. So let me put it on. Let the Liberian people see it. Because you might own a brother and friend. So
I got my in my hand. I want to read it.
Yeah, you read it. So there we go. And this was signed by the president, and this was signed by the Secretary General. And this is it. It's right there. Maybe I put it out, leave it a few seconds, let the people take it. Then from there, we can hear you. But speak. What we get into your speak, Mame.
So what is this, though? Somebody put in the chat room?
Yeah, it's there in the chat room.
Contrary to the picture Gamande tried to paint, which he unsuccessfully did, we have identified internally the challenges the government is faced, the mistakes, not only just challenges, the deliberate action to do wrong things by people in government. We have identified it internally. We've raised it as a member of the rescue mission who brought the JMB administration to power and holding our government accountable.
I gave you that one.
And pushing them to do the right thing. This is a 360-degree different from what happened in the past. So we're not repeating what happened in the past. That's one. 2, we have a president in 9 months who have not broken down any horse and not building over 30 units. That's completely different.
Why you always come with this picking argument, man?
But let Mama talk. No.
But Kev,
Let Mama talk, Kev.
Kev, let him talk because I have an important question. I think when you
let Mama talk.
I mean,
you're bringing this upon yourself. Go ahead, Mommy.
We have a president who, over the last 9 months, are breaking down no horse, build no over 30 units, committed to doing Liberian people work, and doing it so with good results, mistakes, and deliberate wrong actions, all culminating into what required for a government to function. We have a government, unlike what happened in the past. I'm just trying to make you to know that we're not just repeating. We're not repeating things here. There are different things happening. There are instances where we are repeating. We have a government who have demonstrated to the world its commitment to bringing to end a perennial issue about accountability for war and economic crimes. Every other government promised that and failed to do it. That's completely different from the past. We have an administration that while we are even shooting ourselves in the leg, friendly bullets from within, bullets from outside, the people of Liberia have demonstrated consistent trust in this administration. No successful protest against Bouaka administration has succeeded. It is because in as much as the people are concerned about the mistakes and some of the deliberate wrong action, they are still hopeful that the administration will deliver for them. And that is what any administration should look for. When the people you lead are having hope that you will deliver. We only call on the administration, do not exploit that opportunity of hope. Maximize it. Unlike you, in less than 3 months, the masses of the people were easily mobilized against your administration, successfully protesting because they lost faith and hope in your administration. They lost faith and hope because of the way you conducted governance. It's not that you are not making mistakes. It's not that Joseph Bouaka is not making mistakes. It's not that people are not stealing, but they're having hope and faith because of the way he's conducting governance. So we want to establish that distinction. To stand on issue about the University of Liberia, that university probably I can't put it on my head. A small for it. I can't put UL problem on my head. They born us, we were small in high school. We started.
So you surrender.
I come in.
You surrender.
No, I surrender. I want to correct something. I can't put it on my head. But you read a letter. What you saw in our letter, money business. I read a letter. The other one you saw, you didn't say it. So because you talk about the money business, I said, okay, I'm not talking about money business. I saw the renovation.
Well, so you tell your own. So you tell your own.
Yes. Because you saw classroom, you didn't talk about it. You saw internet business, you didn't talk about it. You saw about buses, you didn't talk about it. The only thing you talk about is money. So I said, okay, let me talk about the other one that you didn't talk about. But here's the money issue. 30 seconds. The letter reads, whereas the president of the offer report on the status of previous MOU from October 1, 2021. There is a historical problem from 2021 MOU.
You're gonna blame CDC again.
No, I'm not blaming nobody. I'm not blaming. I'm telling you, there is a problem for 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024 that have not been addressed.
But man, that's over today. The campus are open. Why not choose Yima Bouaka government? That's over it.
So the reason why the campus is not open because renovation work is ongoing on the latrines, renovation work is going on in the classrooms, renovation work going on in the laboratory, renovation work going on in the internet facility. Teacher salary issues need to be addressed. So it's not just about money, it's about work in progress that causing the delay.
So let me hold you again, Mame. And that's how I let to, deal with you on this issue. We should be sincere. As much as you get love for this government, I do the same, right? We're from the same side. So let's be sincere to the conversation. The letter says, it's very clear, Even the most recent one, Ketama, that I put up here, everything is about money that they don't have, Ketama. I send it to you. Mame is intentionally skipping those ones because he wants us to believe that it's about Tole that they didn't face.
No, but you talk about the money
Now,
already now.
but when, hey, brother Mame, that Tole. Oh,
you talk about the money.
Kev, the message will be quiet.
Yeah, because mommy then knowing that you put in the fact out there. Let's stand on this. This is
no, let me end this one right quick. I beg you guys, I know we gotta go. Right, mommy, you my brother, let me leave you alone. Only 1 year. You tried, but you didn't make it tonight. Because I listen, whatsoever happened at the University of Liberia, I have all the documents. The university problem is a decision for the president after he set up a committee that they must find a precedent. The same guy that he brought to set up the committee, Abdullah Katema, they say Stanton are the president, Abdullah are the vice president. But when Stanton they wrong, let Stanton go, let Abdullah stay there. So they want to bring the vice president that was there all this time to be the president. They see vice president that ate all the money. They see vice president that created the problem along with the president. That the corner said, no. That vice president are good. Don't throw it away. And again, the same issue. That issue will never go away. The university will be rotting. Now, on the letter, they said they want to fix. They didn't say they fix it. They said they want to. Right? And they gave them a lame excuse just to present the university that they're doing something, but now no money to pay teacher. No money to do nothing, my people. So the children are staying home. But let's move on. I don't want to beat Mame yet because of my brother.
I wanted to ask Mame just one question. Stand up, please. Let me ask Mame just one question. I listen to you, my friend.
Come on, do your closing. Let's go.
The man throw in the white club.
I want to ask the man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You did this fine presentation about the government and what you guys doing. That's fine. That people are building all these houses. What is stopping your government from investigating and prosecuting? What's stopping you? You're the government. What's stopping you? If you believe George Weah stole money and built 30 houses, what is stopping you? You are the government. You are in power. The same thing Senator Balu was just saying during his closing when he talks about all these allegations that the lawmakers are making against each other. Speaker Kofa said people over inflating the budget and they are messing around. What's stopping you? If people are admitting to crimes, you have the Ministry of Justice. What's stopping your president from asking the Ministry of Justice to investigate those crimes that have been openly committed? You're the one who ran on the platform of rule of law. What's stopping you? It's tiring every time people kind of talk about what the CDC did and what it did and where George Weah, how many houses. But you are the government. Why can't you hold George Weah to account? Why up to now, 2 days now, you people haven't gone to court if you really have evidence against Samuel Twe?
Let me tell you. Unlike you.
But Kamini, you just made a statement rather than ask a question.
I am one person who is not proud, but even angry about the slow pace the administration is taking to make people account for their stewardship of public resources. I am not proud. I'm angry. If you want to push me forward, I'll say I'm disappointed that the administration is not upholding its promise to make people account for the stewardship of public resources. I'm disappointed. So you are right to say why they don't do it. I will join you to ask that question.
Okay.
Let's give it to you. I'll beg you 1 minute, Kev. Let's give it to you, Mami. You've been saying it, so I should give you that. And we know the reason why this government will not persecute fully Samuel Twe and others, because some of the folks in the government that work along with Samuel Twe, they do not want to be dragged in this mud. I want to put this up that will come to you, Kev. US 300,000 in bribe backfires. This is Martin Cody. We've been keeping this story, but Martin running with it tomorrow. This is a huge story. On this document, on this paper, is the immigration boss, Steve Zago, with CETIS, SATES. This is the story that you want to read tomorrow. This thing, you haul rope haul bush, Pandora box open. It is getting scary, folks. It is getting scary in the country when we talk about massive corruption. I want you to go online or buy the paper tomorrow and read it. But this is the story that will make your day tomorrow. And tomorrow we will talk about it. I want to say thanks to every one of you for mind closing. Thanks to Ambassador John Balut. We appreciate him. His time on the show, it was great. Mame, we hope you can come back. Clinton, we hope you can be back here. Kev Hassan, it was a wonderful show. Next week, Sunday, we have a wonderful program for you. Don't forget, join us tomorrow. Everything about the House of Representatives, everything that the president is taking a trip to Sierra Leone, how long he going to spend there, the executive mansion say 8 days or so, but they took that down again to make correction on it. The president is taking a trip to Sierra Leone. All those are going with the president. The amount of money involved in that trip. Again, the reason why the president is going there is important. We want to talk about it. Where are you today when you talk about Liberia? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? The university is crying and begging for money. The education department crying. The Ministry of Education is begging that everything that was allocated to them, they never received, but less than 50%. Our students, the babies are sitting on the floor, no proper education. The issue with the foreign ministry, the diplomatic passport. I have 7 different diplomatic passports under this government that were issued 2024 Ketama under Joseph Yima Braka government. So the guys that they get a diplomatic passport, you see them, you know they are criminals. 7 in our possession. The reason why you don't want us to go there, but want to say to you, we are in serious mess. We are in serious mess. But may God save the state. As everybody get prepared to close, that's my closing. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. Join us again tomorrow with the bigger spoon talk. Everybody will be here. Let's discuss the issue of our country. Till we meet again from my end. May God bless you. May God keep you. And may God save our country. Thank you for joining us. Kev, you go first.
Yeah, let me say this. Clinton, let me say the reason why folks will not and answer your question, or maybe my brother Mami will say disappointed, is because there's no there there. There's nothing there. This government, who's searching for something to go against the past government, who looking, if there was something there, they will put it out. There is nothing. And I will say this on the show tonight. I dare the Unity Party government to bring anything that show President Weah bail out 30 things from 30 story from the government. I dare them. I dare them. But you know what? They will not do it because they don't have it. They don't have it. But let me say this. Steve Zago, 300,000. We're seeing stuff coming out of this government. You know, Unity Party government, those of us that follow Unity Party government, it's the same thing. Joseph Iman Boka himself called his government corrupt. It's on tape. And he brought the same people back, the same Grisby and them back. The same thing. The same thing going on. I stand to be corrected, but his arrest program should have education. Am I correct? The first time in the history in post-war that we don't have school, the university student not going to school. Imagine. So when you look at the Manorovo Union in the West Africa, only Liberia University students not going to school. And let me ask the question, are we back in the days of war? That same thing? No school, nothing going on? Senator, I'll send you a picture. You watching the police, folks, beside a new fight. Some say over roasted cassava. What happening in Liberia? Clinton, you said something. When those guys were campaigning, what they say? We are the experienced people. The past government, you ain't know nothing, you ain't no book, you don't get sense. Some of us who speak for the government, who come, they say we empty-headed. They say they are the experienced guys. And making this blunder. And my brother, Mami Fanny, every way bringing things, saying that the government went to George. We are at home and to we are signed the 500,000. Come you all that story. When those guys will stop, we're not in campaign mode. Stop. Think about the Liberian people. Like Isaac Duke said, you can lie away. During the election, you can lie away. You cannot lie away in governing, man. You cannot do all those things. You cannot continue to lie to the people. This thing, Sarah Beslow said, it's a complete scam. It's a scam. She knew that. She understands that. She knew it's a scam. That woman is not a dummy. She works in a higher level in the world. She represents UN in Sudan. She's smart. She's intelligent. They knew they were lying to the people. Because you know why? Because they lied the way to get there. You know, I always say this. When you're watching American football and basketball, if you're showing that 3-point, they call it the hot hand, you always use that side. If you have wide receiver always in the end zone, the quarterback will always use that side. And that's what the Unity Party is doing. The line is the hot hand. That's a 3-point there in basketball. That's a touchdown. They will continue to lie. They will continue to lie the way. And one
Thank you, Kev. Let's go now.
Let me end this. Mommy say in the last 3 months, in the past government, people are protesting. People, the university students protesting. Yeah, they protest that day when JMB went to, I don't know, well, Stanton. JMB went to OPS school for PhD. That close to?
But the whole thing closed. Then you say, Benego asked for the beer.
So all that JMB went there that day, that blah.
Yeah, the PhD school closed.
Wow.
It closed up there around.
Let me use a word that day.
I do not get them.
Yeah, so first of all,
PhD to that scan.
So first of all, great show, great moderation, Stanton. Balu did well. All of you guys did wonderful. Clinton, we're feeling your vibe a little bit. We're still not getting it yet, but we'll see what you got. We'll see what you got. But look, just for the sake of historical correction, and I think Mami made a point in creating a historical periodization between George right now. But let's just remind that the widows of AFS were on the street, the whole town was shut down. The EU withdrew an appointed minister who was going for defense.
And that was a protest, yes.
Yeah, that was a massive, it was a nationwide protest. In fact, the whole country shut down.
Exactly.
So they withdrew the guy was
I said there was no successful protest done.
Yes.
No. Mame was in fact.
Mame said there's not one success. No, I got to
No. I disagree. I disagree with Mame.
Give me a ketema.
I disagree with Mame. I disagree with Mame.
Successful protest, and we let it go. I didn't say anything on it. Now you come to tell Mame, say no, Mame, you are wrong. We have a major successful protest for 3 days. The country was on a lockdown. There was no armed forces program. The president went in his house surrounded by armed guard because people were afraid. Nobody was traveling. Mama, was that a successful protest from the army's wife? Oh, Mama can't talk no more.
No, but stand on, you left something out. They withdrew. Listen, stand on. The nomination of a defense minister They withdrew the nomination because of the
They
protest.
withdrew Prince Johnson. They say he's not. Yeah. Ketema, wait. Mommy, was that a successful protest that even the defense minister nomination, he got to stay, he stepped down, right? And the president had to convey an emergency national security meeting. The whole country was shut down, no traveling, no eating. Amara Kone, your senator, he walked from Cornwall all the way to the president's house that day. Was that protest successful, Mommy?
The protest was not a successful protest in the context.
They both get drafted, man. They both get drafted. They both get drafted. Ketema continue, man. But man,
ask me question.
No, but Ketema got to finish. Man. Wait for your time.
So honestly, I think we had a good show. And look, like I said, on the necotech thing, look, the media did their job. The government got to do their job. The government, go do your job. The media did a job. You government, go do your job. Nothing wrong with government admitting some flaws, some mistakes, and we made some mistakes. You got it wrong this time. Fix it. We just need to fix it. The primary role of a leader is problem solver. If there's a problem, you solve it. If you're not solving problem, you're in the wrong field. Leadership, the fundamental role is solving problem. The problem is yours to solve. If you're not solving problem, there's no need for leadership. So I think they could step up. And I think on the issue of this president, I think what we saw tonight was this government need to capture and catalog some of the impact so that even their surrogate can be said. The struggle we saw on the show today was the fact that they're not capturing some of the good things they're doing. So even their surrogates don't know what to say. So I think it's important. We noticed that the first 2 years, George Weah lost the elections. The worst thing that happened in the entire George Weah administration happened in the first 2 years. 25 million above. Auditors debt. Everything the first 2 years. Everything the first 2 years. 25 million above. Auditors debt. Billion unit. 100 billion out this. Just million out of protest. Everything the first 2 years. June 7 happened the first 2 years. Everything happened the first 2 years.
I agree.
So if this government play with the first 2 years.
You think Joseph Boga get one more year to prove himself, which is next year? You think so?
Yes.
You think so, Mohammed? Abdullah, you think so? He got one more year to prove himself?
Yes, one more year. Straight on. By the end of the year, if nothing moves, the noise will start. The noise will start. And let me tell you something. The noise will start. The goodwill, the romance, the honeymoon would have been over. The confetti would have faded from the air. And the people, disenchantment, disillusionment, anger. The voices will get louder. The noise will get bigger. People recruited.
I want to hold you there. I know we usually don't do this. Let me go to Mame because it's only important we'll keep Clinton today for last. Mame, the reason I want to keep Clinton because Ketema coming with some very important insight on the way forward. What's your take? I'm not kidding about the protest, though I know it was successful because the government took action. But what's your take now? If this 1 year that is left, which is 2025, if this government failed to have a complete turnaround, you think we're walking into the President George Weah era here?
Still not just President Bouaka has every hour in the day between now and tomorrow. I'm not talking about year. He has every hour to make a decision that impact the lives of his people. Every hour. The theory that you get one more year to things turn around or else the country will collapse. I don't subscribe to that theory. I subscribe to the belief that the president has every minute in his remaining term to impact the lives of his people. If he and his rescue mission fail to do so, Liberians will be making a decision to move their country forward. Nobody should joke about the amount and the magnitude of poverty in that country. Nobody should joke about how desperate Liberians are becoming for a better life. Nobody should joke with the level of enlightenment that is happening across the country. to imagine that we will fail and the choice of our country will be left between choosing two failures. Go daydream. Go sleep. Liberians will make decision on progress and not to go back and make a choice between two failures. There has been no successful opposition organized protest in Liberia under Boakai.
They're making the newsfeed.
Katama. And that's the context. That's the context I spoke. And the reason why I spoke that way, I mean, the widows were organized by themselves. They are government, they are civil servants or on a special classified civil servants.
Then I don't think you follow the protest origin. So it's okay.
Okay, you can tell me whether the ANC organized the protest.
Oh, you want for political party? Are you saying a political party should have organized a protest?
What I said was
the protest successful? Was the protest successful? That was the question.
There is a government, there is an opposition. Since Joseph Boakai became president, you have seen consistent effort from the opposition bloc to repeat a protest that were organized on Awia. Whether it is Akara's Grave calling for protests that failed, whether it is Yeke calling for protests that failed, whether it is the other group ANC calling for protests that failed, I'm telling you, the reason why people have not been able to mobilize the masses into protesting against the government is because in as much as the masses see corruption, they see Boakai is not moving with the speed they want. They're not being able to address the issue about their electricity, their water, and schools are not opening the way. Kids are still on the floor. But the masses are not easily mobilized into revolting against the government because they have hope. Civil servants get a disagreement because they don't take pay. That's fine. Nobody mobilize them. The AFL widow had issues with this defense minister. That was an internal issue. They said, we don't want him. If you put him there, we'll not work with him. And they put him there. They went to the legislature, they presented their complaint to the legislature. They said, we don't want this man. If you put him there, we'll protest. If you don't put him there, we'll get your chance.
That's not true. I sent you the document from the AFL widow. I sent their demands. It wasn't only about the defense minister, we don't want him. No, that's not true.
Okay, Central.
I sent it to you. Yes. I sent it to you. You had it, you read it.
Yes,
so read everything that was on that document. That's not only about defense minister. That's not true.
So here's the point. So I agree with you now. Here's the point that you need to agree with me. Once they removed the defense minister, the AFL widow went back in their barrack. They still have hope that those issues will be addressed. That's the reason why.
That's not true. That's not true either. Once they remove the defense minister, they call them. They promise them good education in the barrack, electricity, everything. Did you see what happened just 2-3 days ago? That they came right back on the street because those demands. Oh, so you didn't see the protest that they just had again?
No, I didn't see the protest.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see the AFL protest.
I will email you Yahoo information.
You're not up to speed on this thing. Why are you talking now?
So you agree with me that the people trust the commitment that were made to them. That's the reason why since January when they promised them up to today, they have not organized similar protests.
I'm not embarrassing yourself. Seriously.
Since January, the government made commitment to them.
Mama, try early, mama, continue.
But tell me now, these people, you Stanton said, the people organized protest, they locked the entire country down.
Mama, I will agree with you, right? And let me take their position of satisfy the argument. No. Oh, so you're acting like you're telling me I shouldn't agree with you.
Yeah, let me learn. Since January.
You said no.
Let me learn. Since January, these people, these people organized a protest that you said locked the entire country down. Granted, the government went to them.
That close, man. They argument on that thing. I beg you, man.
What are you asking me for?
No, just summarize. We got to go now.
I summarize in 30 seconds now.
Hey, my
Since
man,
January,
you get into political convention speed now.
The government went to them. The government made commitment to them. Since
Yeah.
January in November, they have now organized similar protests to lock the entire country down because they believe and trust what the government told them.
Mama, thank you. I think that's why I wanted to agree with you on two things. One, they have not organized a nationwide protest. Two, the next thing I want to agree with you on, it wasn't from a political party, an opposition. I agree with you on those two things. Before our brother Clinton come in, let me ask you a question. The PhD program that the government was right? Was a PhD program.
Send them.
Yeah.
I think we have to be careful. Mohammed did not qualify the protest. He did not add a condition to the protest to meet certain conditions. He said no successful protest. He did not say that be organized by protest does not have to be organized by a political party. Protest does not have to be. So the definition of protest, nobody owns the definition of protest. Mohammed does not own the definition of what protest is.
You say we must go, and I try for all to go. Then you say
let's try to go.
No, I want to make Mame small because they don't want to get Mame because they don't want to go now. So you get me
everything I bring on the show. I know Mame will go against me. So you know what I usually do, Ketema? I bring small, then I hold the rest of it in the back. So I may go against it and flashing.
But we need November. We need November.
So what happened? What happened?
The reason why the armed women are not doing nationwide protest because they trust what the government told them while they're in the barrack.
Let me close.
But let Clinton close for us to go.
Let me close and offer another explanation for why you haven't seen the type of protest you've seen on June 7. The reason why you haven't seen the level of protest we've seen in the first year of George Weah is because you have a George Weah who's the undisputed leader of the opposition, as proven in the last election result, who is not interested.
They don't get you the credit that you say you start with CDC from
who is not interested. I'm telling you,
that's a good spin. That's a good spin. I'm telling you,
that's a fact because George Weah,
that's a pro CDC spin.
Historically, George Weah has not. It's not things that George Weah has been interested in. George Weah is not interested in. If George Weah decided today that he wanted to organize the opposition today, he can lock down Monrovia. But George Weah is not interested in that. The reason why even some of us in 2019 got on the plane, we said and decided to go and join PR for the CDC regime was because of the attacks on this regime by this of the opposition at the time. You have people who were hell-bent within the first 6-7 months of the Weah administration, criticizing the government and organizing all sorts of protests. They didn't want to get. Weah's not interested in that. Look, you could see from the very beginning of this election, Weah took his time, he turned over power, and he's giving you people the opportunity to govern. And that's why it should be. When you lose an election, you give people the chance to govern. The Unity Party people did not do that. They attacked the CDC government. They organized protests. They did all sorts of things. And that's the only reason why you haven't seen any major protest is because you don't have a leader in the opposition who's interested in doing that. It's not because people have so much faith in the Bwaka regime that, but George Weah is not interested in putting seditionists on the street. That's it.
My man, Clinton, I tell you, Clinton, you know how to speak, my man, but I don't want to lie. It ain't working that up. But let me say thanks to everybody.
Clinton is correct. The country is split. If George Weah put his folks on the street,
the country is split. That's
before you go, how can you say if George Weah put people on the street? George Weah himself said refused to go to Liberia. Then he still put people on the street.
No, he gave you away. He gave away.
George Weah giving people an opportunity to govern how it should be.
That's why he said he put a poacher in the street, eh?
Yeah, is giving you the opportunity to govern. We should give you the opportunity.
If George Weah put somebody you can put foot. No.
So you'll be flying all around, enjoying yourself, then you put
he gave you
away. The opposition hasn't even started to attack you. You're just shooting yourself in the leg right now. Everything like just self-inflicted injury. You're shooting yourself all in the head. Nobody even touching you yet.
Exactly.
That good governance. With that good governance, we have to do ourselves. Yes, sir. Take care. Take care, Mom, and take care, Clinton. Ketema, take care. Kev, thank you very much for joining us. But Nelson, you want to come on?
You talk about your church today, my man. My son, I went to church. I enjoy my church.
I did. I talked about the church. You came on late.
Oh, you talk about it.
Nelson? Yeah, I went to my daughter's church today. A beautiful church. The youth, man. The youth doing extremely well.
Oh, you you drove 1 hour.
Yeah. Yeah. We went there. We did the family. We had a nice time, man. Yeah. The parents of the youth, they dancing. You know, they did extremely well. Nelson, are you sleeping? So Nelson, did the Redskins play today, Kev?
No, play on Thursday. We played.
Oh yeah, and the Eagles beat you on Thursday.
Yeah, beat on Thursday.
Yeah, so you guys are off today. I'm not monitoring the game.
What happened? Nelson, what happened with that reporter today? They were beating us a reporter today.
I told Nelson to play, but he didn't.
My man, are your colleague?
Nelson, pull it up now. Let's play.
You know
that's y'all making fun. I'm a outside. You didn't meet out now, but you didn't find out on your government.
So some members are getting disenchanted for what we don't know.
Wow.
So the youth against their own people, they jump on the.
Well, let's go to the mall, Kev. We gotta go. It's disturbing. It's unfortunate.
The country is going in some.
And they want to do is say, let God save our state, man. Folks, have a good night. Nelson, thank you. Kev, thank you a lot.
All right.
Yeah. You want to talk about your wedding coming up? Or you left? He's getting married in the next week, right? Next week, I believe so. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Nelson. Okay. Thank you very much, Nelson. See you tomorrow, yeah? By God's grace.
Yes, sir. Well, folks, thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate everyone for your contribution. Thanks to all of you who called in. Thanks to the many of you who have been playing the listening role. We appreciate you tonight. Our affiliate radio stations, those stations across the country that are always relaying the program. We want to say thank you for being on. Thanks for relaying the show across the counties. In Bowman County, Trust FM; in Bone County, Premier; in Grand Crew County, Trend Radio. Many thanks to the folks in Margibi County, Kibi FM. We appreciate you as well for relaying this program. You can join us tomorrow. Spoon Talk will be on the radio. This is how we end up on 101. That's 101 with the CEO. Many thanks to all of you for following. Thanks to our online audience. The many of you in the comment section, engaging, sharing your thoughts on the different issues. We appreciate you. I see William Hines. I see Smokawa bombing. That's Boema M. Gray. Oh, Boema. Thanks for being here tonight. Per Kimball, thanks for joining us as well. Thanks to the many of you. Kafu Kosuba. Yes. We appreciate you for being on here as well. And thanks to the many of you who always come on and share the program. That's something we appreciate a whole lot. So many of you will share the show in your different group chats, on your messenger, on the Facebook timeline. We appreciate Nathaniel K. Hill, Emmanuel Pade, Charles Delan, Thomas Kura. Thanks for being here tonight. He says we're getting very biased, but thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate. And the interesting thing about the comment section is that you guys will always share your thoughts, regardless of what it is. You will say how you feel about the different issues that are being discussed, and we appreciate the freedom of expression. You know, as much as you're doing it in a very cordial way, not raining invectives on other people. We appreciate that. Jay Carter, LIB Content Queen, George S. That's George S. Bobor. Thank you. Honorable Mark Kula. Charles Mars, we appreciate you. Loretta Green Beamer, thanks for being on here tonight as well. We appreciate all of you for always coming on. Cooper Kra, thanks for coming on, Junior. So thanks for joining us tonight. Spoon Talk will be on tomorrow. You can make up time to join us. One-on-one with the CEO will come on next week. As you know, this program comes on Sundays. It gets to start the week. At the very start of the week, that's when you listen to this show. We appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. Lane Lakpo, our guy who is always on here, we appreciate you. Morris, and everyone. So you can join us tomorrow for another great show. Spoon is always here for you. And this is where we bring you the news on filter, making sure that you get all of the happenings across the country. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, everyone. Till we meet tomorrow on this very network. I'm Nelson Collier. Bye-bye for now.
Rastafari, kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you batileo. Yes, what you batileo. Beseku. Ba. Skibidi dabado.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. George James on